Oh.
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener.
Yes, dear listener. International Women's Week.
International Women's Week.
Shout out to DJ Ben for bringing some recognition where recognition is deserved.
Yeah, you girls, you guys been holding down the fort for quite some time. Shout out to the big homie
We've been
Ayo.
populating the world.
We were just talking about the big homie Ayo.
Oh.
Sorry, CISO. CISO who said Ayo. We were just
in my mind, I was like, oh, and then I'm like trying to translate. I'm like, who is Ayo?
Yeah, CISO is.
We were just talking about you. Very true.
He's about to make us all very famous.
Yes. Very popular.
Shout out to CISO.
Yeah.
Making me sound better than I deserve. Oh, look, Ian asked you the following.
For bringing to life what is actually...
Sorry, did Vin show you the rhythm section I did for 14?
Did you?
Yes, solo.
Oh, yes,
he
I
was
did,
the one that put the thing on top of the solo. That was him.
Oh, my word. Okay, so Vinny's playing it, and, like, it was one of those, like, it had so much energy to it. Okay, back up. There was a candle on the bathroom floor.
Oh, yeah, here it goes.
It was very melty in there. It was a 3-wick candle, very large candle.
It was a very melty candle, y'all.
And Vinny went to show me something excitedly, and when he turned around, he kicked that candle. I don't know why we had it on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know why it was on the floor. He kicked the candle,
and wax went all over the toilet, up the wall,
everywhere.
Over the floor, freaking everywhere.
Everywhere.
I just covered my face because I was thinking about all the work that's going to be to scrape it off. Anyway, so I'm like doing it in phases. I like scrape the whole toilet down, scrape the floor down.
Women's
work. Long story. Shout out to Women's Week.
Yeah.
So Vinny's out there playing the song, and like I felt so friggin' energized when that was going. I grabbed a credit card and started scraping all that wax off.
Oh yeah, I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing in there? I was like,
I wanted
really
to
motivated.
Yeah, the stuff you put on top of it, bro. Honestly, like it was inspiring. It did make you want to like go hurt some folks, like in a good way. You feel me? You did a great job. You did a great job with the rhythm section. We're going to get our fancy spancy producer, and he's going to
put some stuff on top of it, and all that jazz. So yeah. Shout out to our president. Y'all know it's International Women's Week.
Yep.
But do we have any intros for what we're about to do right now?
We do.
The man of the hour. It's Women's Week, dear listener, but the man of the hour is upon us.
So the band's name that we're first doing is Asagraum. They Crawl from the Broken Circle is the name of the song. It's a live video. You got that up?
Yep.
He says, this is from the DJ Ben. I'm finally ready to reveal my March 5th International Women's Week stream. Two bands that play extreme metal made up of entirely female members.
Talk that shit, ladies.
Okay, Beals of black metal, damsels of death metal. Sori sometimes complains that there aren't enough female vocals in some songs. All the vocals are female here, but I'm not sure she meant like this. These ain't no damsels in distress. These are is this bells? How would we say? Bielas of black metal and...
Bells? These are the bells of black metal and damsels of death metal.
Woo! This is
called alliteration, dear listener. You could have been a preacher, Ben.
This all-female black metal band hails from the Netherlands. Their original drummer was actually from Norway, but now all the band members are Dutch. For the first 2 songs of tonight's stream, you will be treated to a live performance. Okay, so the first song, They Crawl from the Broken Circle, Asagraum.
They Crawl from the Broken Circle. And you are correct. I know you didn't know this, but my solo was actually in E Locrian minor.
Oh.
Locrian minor.
Oh.
So, for all you noobs out there who don't know the instrument and the guitar, your boy here is a savant. Because I was playing in Loki and E, and I have no idea what the hell that is.
It sounds important, though.
So there we are. All right, guys, song number 1. Let's do this shit.
Let's do it.
Asagraum live in Rosenheim, Germany. Let's go. The name of this song is...
They Crawl from the Broken Circle.
They Crawl from the Broken Circle. Women's Week. All right, Asagraum, you guys are up first. Let's hear it. This is very spooky. This is very spooky. What's the...
Oh, did you get the timestamp?
What's the timestamp?
1:45. Sorry.
Okay, so it's about to start.
Yep, and we're going to 7:30.
All right, guys, here we go. Here's the song, They Crawl from the Broken Circle. This is a live video, dear listener. I will have the lyrics up after the song is done. Mm-hmm. We will have the lyrics up after the song is done. Also, let me know. What was just in my head?
I know what's in your head now.
I'm looking at all these notes. Okay. They crawl from the broken circle. They crawl from the broken circle. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Don't.
Oh my God.
That's why I thought you were like,
Jeez. Amy in this bitch! Amy in this bitch!
What's up? That's right.
Hail these ladies. Okay, that was
All right, that was They Crawl from the Broken Circle, Asagraum.
Asagraum. I don't. They're from Germany, so
Norway, I thought.
Or Norway. Right.
Norway, they're all Dutch, he said at this point.
All right. Thoughts. What you got?
Okay, Ben, you're right. They're not the type of vocals I scream for, but I love the fact that this entire band is all made up of females. From the vocals to the drums, the guitar, and everything.
Why is that so important to you? Why is that so important to you?
Because it's a male-dominated society, and I appreciate when we get some burn. That's really honestly what the answer is. I love that. And okay, the first thing that I was thinking when it started was because she had I liked her paint job and stuff, and I was thinking, I wonder if we ever got to interview these people. My question would be, does your family did they transition well with it, or are they against what you're doing? Are they all for it? Do they come to the concerts? I'd love to know that.
How would they be against it?
Well, my parents would not have been okay with me. I mean, and certainly the lyrical content, depending on who their parents are.
If her parents, it's funny because you say if her parents are religious, there's going to be a problem. But then it's how she would not know these things unless she grew up with them, almost, unless she did a Nergal thing and just went out of her way to try to. You see what I'm saying? And unless she went out of her way to try to learn this stuff.
I hear what you're saying.
She's talking about Leviathan, Belial, Lilith, Aharam. I don't know who that is.
Yep.
So it's she must have had some sort of religious background.
You might be correct. The only thing is, I've personally known women that have been raised in a certain religion. Well, specifically the person I'm talking about, she was raised Christian, and then she wanted nothing to do with it, and now she's into completely ancestral worship and stuff, and she knows all kinds of stuff about it. You would think that she was raised in it. So I don't know. Maybe this person was.
You said she was raised in a Christian house?
Yeah.
Right.
And then she went away from it.
That's what I was saying. Her understanding who Belial, Leviathan, Lilith.
Oh, you're saying she might have gotten those from.
You had to have some sort of Judeo-Christian background.
Oh, I was thinking I thought you were saying if she was just raised in this sort of. I don't know what you would call this. I don't know if this would be.
Well, I mean, she's part of the Western world, right? So she was. By the way, hit that like button, you losers!
Like and subscribe.
Otherwise, no season 3.
Yeah.
And none of our overhyped music.
Yeah. Never mind that we might be bluffing.
Get those likes up.
Get them up.
This thing used to count likes. It doesn't anymore. What happened to it?
Oh no.
Maybe
there's none to speak of.
Yeah. So I just think that
I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying that okay, forgive my ignorance here, but I would have said maybe she was raised in a pagan sort of satanic environment, and that's where she was getting her information from. But you're saying it's Judeo-Christian based off some of the things that she's saying.
Yeah, I just think that I'd like to do some sort of religious survey of this kind of Satanism, whatever brand of Satanism, in a context where, in an unreached context where there's no Christianity. So let's say there's no Christian archetypes in that given culture.
Yeah.
What does being on the bad team look like?
Ooh, that's interesting. Does your shoulder still hurt, or can I?
Because obviously Christians aren't the ones who invented the concept of good and evil, right? Yeah. And so Cat Williams said something to Joe Rogan that was pretty interesting. Because Joe Rogan was I don't know if there's a devil or not, and Cat Williams says, let's not even do that. Let's just go, do you believe in good and evil? And Rogan goes, well, yeah. And so Cat goes, okay, so you just take the logical extremes of good and evil, and that's how you get God and the devil. Which theologically has some holes in it. If Perkinos was here, he'd be able to point them out. But I think that's a pretty good, ground level way to express it.
Yeah.
Right? There are. It's so funny because, I keep talking about all these UFO disclosures and things like that, and it's almost universal. And it doesn't matter what time, place, region of the earth, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, they all say the same thing about communication, which is that it's telepathic. Okay? So you've got these beings who are able to communicate telepathically, which means that they're sentient, they're intelligent. And then the question becomes, okay, if our culture at the secular level is now accepting that there are beings that can inhabit other dimensions and communicate telepathically, and I'm talking about George Knapp, David Grush, Jacques Vallée. These are all secularists. They're not on our team at all in any way, shape, or form. But these are looked upon as experts in. I mean, David Grush literally testified on the floor of Congress about 6 months ago about this shit. Okay, so if we accept that, then what's to say that all of them are good?
100%.
In the way that we would perceive good. And then if you say, okay, that's true, there might be good ones and there might be bad ones. It's like, okay, so now we have interdimensional beings who can communicate telepathically, some of whom are benevolent, some of whom are malevolent.
That sounds familiar.
So she's saying, arise Belial, arise Leviathan, arise Lilith. These are all demons, or powerful divine beings. So Leviathan isn't necessarily a demon. Leviathan is basically a mythical sea monster that represented chaos that the Babylonian gods struggled and fought with, sometimes to a stalemate. While Yahweh is portrayed Yahweh's portrayed as playing with Leviathan, while the other gods are like fighting him like for dominance over the universe. Leviathan is played with in the ocean, and it literally basically says Yahweh made him to play with him. So Leviathan is this great, crazy sea monster that represents chaos that even the gods have a hard time with. And so it makes sense that Leviathan would be taken on in the moniker in a lot of Satanist kind of iconography, because even the gods struggled with Leviathan. So Leviathan wasn't a god. He wasn't on anybody's team. He was on his own team, and he was powerful, and the gods had a really difficult time with him. And so it makes sense to adopt Leviathan if you're talking about spiritual rebellion and power and sort of this ultimate understanding of Satanism, which is like making yourself your own ultimate god. Leviathan would kind of be the ultimate sort of guy, because he has no loyalty to any of the gods, and they're all scared of him, and the sea is his domain, and you really, the gods basically leave him alone, aside from Yahweh. But Yahweh kind of does this. He trolls like dark intelligences a lot in the Bible. Like, he trolls them heavy. He's kind of petty. I don't want to say he's petty because he's God, but he's like, man, you guys out here fighting with this dude. Like, I'm wrestling. I'm playing with this dude, like in a sandbox, bro. Like, we good. Arise, Lilith.
Maybe it's like, when you're like so above a situation that like you have the extra time to toy.
Right.
Like, that's how I see it.
Right.
I'm like, he's doing that. He just, he's above it all.
Vin, how do you know Leviathan was mythical? I don't. That's why I went like this. I'm not sure. Because here's the thing, right? Like, you could literally have a prehistoric or a now extinct sea creature. Or, hell, we know more about space than we do about the ocean.
Depths of the ocean.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's silly to say that there's no such thing as a Leviathan. When I say mythical, what I mean by that is, I'm sure they witnessed some sort of beast, whatever, in the sea that is probably no longer extant. And then you kind of build legends around it to try to make sense of what you're doing. But no, I don't know that Leviathan is actually... That's a good point. And none of us do, by the way. Like, one of the things that's really interesting to me is like this whole thing about unicorns. Like, people laugh when they say, it's like... It's a horse. With a horn. Like I said, a butterfly.
Yeah, it's crazier.
Way crazier and more magical to me than a unicorn. Like,
yeah.
The things
well, maybe they're thinking Pegasus. No, the people say unicorn.
No, the
Pegasus.
flying,
that one's harder.
The flying thing, okay, but still, think about it. All you're doing is smacking two wings on the guy. You're not completely changing what he looks like. Go from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Even Pegasus makes more sense than that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just straight up magic. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what scientific term. Caterpillar to butterfly is straight magic. And I agree. Like, we don't. How do you know that Leviathan isn't real? Oh, I don't know that. We don't know this stuff. Like, it's really interesting with secularists. Like, they'll be like, you cannot know that there's life after that. It's like, all right, I'll give that to you. But by the same token, why are you mocking all these other things that we also cannot know?
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm like 80-20. I'm 80% that actually something like that. First of all, because the Bible talks about it. So obviously I believe that it's true in that regard. But is the Leviathan of the Bible the same as, like, our idea of what it is? I'm not sure that they're completely the same thing. I tend to believe that they are, but yeah. When we see how, like, just fish in the pond react around us and they go away from us, and they're just like little tiny fish, like, what is a big giant something or other going to do? Like, why would it come toward us?
Yeah, and then when are we allowed?
So much that we haven't explored.
When in the modern world are we allowed to believe something? When the white people in the white suits tell us that it's real? So all these people been telling us they've been seeing flying saucers and shit for fucking decades. Yep. Actually, hundreds and thousands of years, actually.
Right, yeah.
Cave drawings all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been mocking them. Now all of a sudden the white folks in Congress said that they're real.
Michelangelo had in his painting.
Now the white folks in Congress say it's real, and the lab people say, oh shit, now we're allowed to believe it. So before it was a joke.
Yep, your life is over if you saw it.
Before it was a joke, and now it's like, oh yeah, like our Air Force. Yeah, we've got an entire yeah. So I don't know about Leviathan, and neither does anybody else. He could very well be, and also we don't know how consciousness works, particularly in these animals and whatever the hell. So you cannot know. Right. You cannot definitively say that there is no creature named Leviathan or that fits the description of Leviathan or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And obviously, as in our cosmology, we do believe that there are lowercase g gods that could struggle with a being like Leviathan. Mm-hmm. So the other thing is, and I do believe it's possible to see, and I do think that you are seeing lowercase g gods. And that's one of the reasons why they're completely skirting all the basic laws of physics that we have. So that even though these people are looking at it, they can't believe it because they're like, no, nothing can do that. See what I'm saying? It's like, okay, maybe you're going to have to expand your worldview. So that's a long answer. I have no idea that Leviathan is actually mythical in the sense that he didn't exist at all and that he did not have combat with supernatural beings who may have wanted that area for supremacy, and he said, nah, I'm good here. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
And what portion of the ocean is not discovered yet? Like, it's a big, giant portion, right?
Oh, yeah, the vast majority of it.
So it's like, if the vast majority of it is undiscovered by us, then wouldn't the most intelligent thing to do to say it's, it's likely that it could be there?
Agree. Also, imagine reverse magic from a beautiful egg of Vin's mom. He appeared. Bummer. Fuck you very much for that. It very much hurt my feelings. Okay. I really like this song. It's a very thought-provoking song. All I will say, though, is that if at the secular level we are accepting that there are beings that can communicate telepathic, and again, even with Elon stuff, like the whole chip thing that he's doing, Neuralink, he's trying to get us to be able to communicate at the telepathic level.
You know what? I have to say, give me the comment section, or maybe I'll put up a poll. What percentage of people get a random thought in their head that they didn't initiate? Correct. So doesn't that mean there's already some version of telepathy that's already happening that we just don't understand yet?
Correct. I mean, correct. Or that our fathers and our mothers understood. But now we're a team. We're the Western world. We're in our adolescent phase, and when you're an adolescent, you can drive the car. You've got access to the knowledge of how to drive a car, and you're also going to crash it and kill everybody on the road. Like when you're an adolescent, and that's where we are in the Western world. That's why we let loose the bomb. It's like, holy shit! Look what we can do. It's like a child looks at stuff and says, "Oh, it can do this. Therefore, I must use it." It takes wisdom to say, and we're not there yet in the Western world. Psychologically, we're adolescents. Okay, so one of the things about being an adolescent is that you get brought into worlds that you're completely not familiar with and you get eaten for lunch. So you want to be a 16-year-old and you believe that your mom and dad are so dumb, blah, 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 and you're going to go out in the streets because those are where your real friends are. But them people that you run into, they're all older than you. They got their own agenda for you. And you are 1 out of 5,000 that they've seen, and they're gonna run game on you. How do you know that's not happening to you spiritually? You start communicating with all these people because you're done with Christianity, you're done with the Western religion, blah, blah, blah. You're going to go and strike out your own path. You start communicating with Belial and Leviathan and all these demons and all the way. And here's the thing to me, and it was funny because I was watching this on Joe Rogan. One of the theories about these UAPs, these aliens, is that Joe Rogan was like, they somehow feed on your soul. I don't know how.
Right. Yeah.
Joe Rogan is saying this sitting across from Jeremy Corbell, who's not a Christian, not a whatever, but they're just talking about the various theories. And one of the theories was some of these species of beings seem to be very interested in the emotional, psycho-spiritual life of the people that they're interfacing with. So be very careful when you're trying to call and look, I don't care what anybody said. Some of you guys have done some of these things. Like you've invited some of these consciousnesses into your consciousness, and you do feel a rush of power. And you're not going to say it because we're in a secular world, so that sounds kooky. But you do feel a rush of power. I would say to you that I'm not going to invalidate your experience. All I'm going to tell you is that shit comes at a cost.
Exactly.
And just like there's bad neighborhoods and bad dudes in white vans, okay, that go after little kids, there are bad intelligences that when a person opens themselves up to it, and the only way they can do it, yes, they're more powerful than us, but the currency in that dimension is intentionality.
Yep.
The physics. The overarching principle, meta principle that guides the physics of that dimension is intentionality. And that's one of the reasons why these ships can travel to places at 1 trillion miles an hour, because they're operating at the speed of thoughts and intention. So in that world, the physics, all of that gets translated into pure intention. Here in this platform, we have to do things to mediate our intention. So if I want to hurt you, I got to ball up my fists and I got to do all these things on this physical platform in order to express and accomplish that intention. But what if we were in a dimension where what you intended to do and what happened were the simultaneous event and there were no mediating factors that you would have to use? That's a realm people are getting into when they're talking about invoking these consciousnesses. I don't believe that you're going to get the real Leviathan if you call out the Leviathan. But what you are communicating to that world is that you have the intention to collaborate and be dominated by these beings. So it doesn't need to be literal Leviathan. It just needs to be, there it is.
Yep.
She said she wanted me to come. I'm going to come.
Yep.
So I'm just putting that warning out to you guys. Some of you guys, this is all funny and games, but one of y'all know what I'm talking about. Not something to play around with. That's all I'm saying.
The other crazy thing, too, is that the scripture says, for freedom, Christ has set you free. So in the realm of Christianity, there's freedom from sin, there's freedom from being addicted to things, for being not just addicted to substances, but addicted to lifestyles, addicted to negative things that bring destruction into your life. So there's freedom from all of those things in Christ. And he says, for freedom, Christ has set you free. Like that's part of the message that Jesus brought, is the freedom. And right at this beginning of the song, she says, arise, Belial, break my chains, feast from my veins. Like right from the beginning, right off the jump, she's admitting that she is under bondage. And so that to me was,
and at the end of the
crazy
song,
to hear.
At the end of the song, she says, heal me.
For the devil will heal my scars.
The devil will heal my scars. And this is the problem, is that the... Yeah. I'm not going to say that the devil is the reason you have scars in the first place, because that's not always true.
Right.
All the bad things that happen to us cannot be located by the devil. Traditionally, the Christian church has said the world, that is the world system, capitalism today, whatever, the world will fuck you up. The flesh, that is your own sinful nature, will fuck you up, and the devil can fuck you up for sure. But when she says, the devil will heal my scars, he is definitely, you cannot say the devil's the cause of all of our scars. But people following the ways of the devil are absolutely the cause of every scar we have.
Right.
And so the devil is kind of like one of those guys, man, that will, I wish everybody could spend a couple years in the street to see how intricate these games go. I mean, the schemes that people, they will, for example, one of the classic, methods used by a pimp is when he sees a new girl move into the neighborhood, he watches her for a little bit, and if she doesn't have a dad around, he will then send one of his boys to start fucking with her, pushing her around, calling her names, all types of shit. And then he'll come in and rescue her.
Oh my God.
Right? And then she's at the corner 2 weeks later. Right? So he orchestrated the entire situation.
Yeah.
And then
Jesus.
Look, the devil will heal my scars. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. I'm not one of these people. Listen, if you go that direction, I'm not going to lie to you and say it's going to be bad for you from the beginning. That's not true.
Mm-mm.
There's a reason people interact with those beings, man. You will absolutely get some sort of benefit. The only thing I can tell you is, because I've seen it firsthand, the price that you pay is always going to be too much.
Mm-hmm.
It'll always be disproportionate.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously somebody needs to hear this.
Yep.
Hell says, my blood is full of various meds.
Oh my God.
Belial would be sick for a month, at least if he dared to taste my blood. Sick like me.
Jeez, oh, that's so sad. Jeez.
I'm also your friend, and so is she, and that's the real reason Belial don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Because they fuck with you is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this that's an interesting one. Seeds of Iblis, Morbid Muhammad. That is very interesting. That's a band that's not playing in Saudi Arabia. 9.4, dear listeners. Shout out to the girls.
Not my style of music. 8.6 for me. Wait, no, 8.8.
As Tina Benina said, some things come with too high of a price.
100%.
100%. Words of wisdom. We will be back on the other side of the break, you beautiful people, with more speculations about UAPs, sickness, things of that nature, producers, life, love. Commercial break. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone, bitches. Don't forget the timestamp.
Oh, shit.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and y'all shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. It is Women's Week. Shout out to all the women everywhere.
That's right. Shout out to us, ladies.
First of all, none of us would be here.
Right. If it wasn't for the wombs of our mothers.
And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mom, even outside the womb. You know what you did, girl. Thank you very much, Mom Dukes. BMW in this bitch. Rest in peace to my mom. Rest in peace to Wanda Padilla. I loved you. I'll see you again real soon, inshallah.
Not real soon.
Okay, guys, here we go. Song number 2. Song number 2 is...
Oh, song number 2 is Dawn of the Infinite Fire. This is, again, from the same band we're going with, Asagraum, or Asagraum.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn of the Infinite Fire. This is another live video for all of us. It's going to start at 29:30.
So that was the same show, right? That was the same show?
Ooh, this is wait a minute. That's a weird date.
Yeah, like I'm hoping it's...
This one is January 14th, 2023 is the one we are doing now. And this last one was... Yeah, you're right. How'd you know that? Is it brilliant?
Yeah, because I'm brilliant.
This is my husband.
Because I'm brilliant. All right, guys, here we go. Song number 2. Okay, what did you say? Time
Smart man for you. Okay. 29:30, I believe is what I said. Yeah, 29:30. And it's going to 35:15.
All right, 29:30.
Yeah.
I'm going to let this one play out because that's at 29:21. Where's the mute button? Mute. Did you say 29:30 you said?
Yep, 29:30.
6, 7. Talk to the people. I don't
wow,
like this dead air. All
All
right, guys. Here we go.
So glad I got to talk to you guys.
Yeah, you took too long. Asagraum live in Rosenheim, Germany. The name of the song is Dawn of the Infinite Fire. Let's do this shit.
This is the dawn of infinite fire.
Okay, that was Asagraum. How do I pronounce these?
Asagraum, Dawn of Infinite Fire.
Dawn of Infinite Fire. That was from the same show that we just covered.
Same live show.
So if there's no question as to whether or not these girls can stand up live,
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, well, we know that.
Yeah, like, and that's big too because black metal. I think I don't know if CISO was still here, I'd actually ask him. But like black metal, I think can be risky to play live if you're not doing it good. It can sound really, especially like this kind of black metal isn't like the overproduced. I'm not gonna mention any bands, but there's some bands that are like very recent wave black metal. It's very, very highly produced and all that. This is kind of more almost like in the second generation. My point is like it can really sound muddy and sloppy live. Mm-hmm. That kind of playing, and they still did a really, really, really good job.
I agree.
Really good job. Shout out to the big homie BC in this bitch.
Shout out to BC. Every time BC shows up and says hello,
children. Yeah,
it always reminds me of hello, atheist.
Hello, atheist. Shout out to Johnny Haas.
Yep.
Johnny Haas in this bitch.
Okay. It seems I see the blood moon rising in the sky again, yearning for the serpent's knowledge. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. Because, we talk about Genesis, and in Genesis, the serpent, just going to do that for now, comes up to Eve and basically, breathes to her the secrets of secret knowledge and tells her, go and, basically go away from the things that God has told you to do and go over here and do this thing instead, and you're going to get this secret knowledge that's going to change things for you. And you know what? It did change things for her. Drastically, even.
Changed things for everybody.
It changed it for all of us, yeah.
Good job, Mom.
Okay, this part. What
we gotta have it for Women's Week. We gotta.
So this part was pretty. Samuel, come unto me. With thy dark wings I will ascend.
Samael.
Okay.
Yeah.
When one of
Not Samuel.
Okay, all right. Then
I think the lyrics here are wrong. Is this Genius? Or was this Metalwork?
No, this is
it's Samael.
Metal
Samuel is a prophet. Samael is a divine being.
Okay. You know what I thought it was?
He was one of the guys that was hanging out with Shinyaza and them.
It sounded like it. When you pronounced the name, it sounded like that more.
Yeah.
Well, who was remember there was I can't think of the people's names. That's why I'm asking you. He goes and he asks the witch of Endor to bring up who?
Saul, to bring up Samuel.
Right. So that's what I thought was going on. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that the one that he called up was Samuel. And then I thought it was kind of like, because
Samael, come to me with thy dark wings, I will ascend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Samuel never had any dark wings.
No, but in certain Christian circles, when he went to the Witch of Endor and had him call up Samuel, there are some people that say, yes, he literally called up Samuel and he had a conversation with Samuel. But then there are other people that say it was not Samuel that came to him, but rather a demon that was presenting as Samuel. That's what we were taught. Along with the bells on the feet that they would put. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was probably one of those things. But when I heard it, now that I'm seeing your face, I also had heard your side of it too, where it was actually literally him. But I wasn't sure if she was playing on that part of it where...
Did Arturo send us a commercial about March Madness yet?
Yeah, he did. Oh,
okay.
You forgot I told you.
Instead of the real commercial, we're going to be playing another commercial during the commercial. Pay very close attention. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
So you thought he was talking about Samuel.
Do me a favor and send it to me again.
You thought he was talking about Samuel.
Well,
instead of Samael.
Right. And I thought she might have been playing off of that, where if it was actually not Samuel, but it was actually a dark demon that came to him that was talking to him. And then it was basically like, with thy dark wings I will ascend. Like,
yeah, I think,
but
especially
especially
the previous song where she was calling out all these demons or whatever. It seems to go within her writing style. I've never heard that about Samuel, that it was a demon that was saying that to Saul.
Yeah,
so a demon gave a legit prophecy.
And a demon was called up. Yeah,
a demon gave a legit prophecy because Samuel prophesied that he was going to die that day.
Yeah.
So your Bible college, they just made shit up.
I don't even think that was my Bible college. I'm pretty sure that was before Bible college.
Oh my God. Anyway, I think they're talking about Samael. I don't think they're talking about Samuel.
They had
Samael
to do
is
that.
a demon.
They had to do that because they were trying to, because you couldn't speak to the dead. You couldn't. Everything was a demon. You remember that whole demon under every rock thing? Like, I was very closely connected with that group of people.
It's a lot of,
There's a lot of fear-based.
It's a kind of Christianity I loathed when I was coming back into Christianity, because it was just so superstitious, and
they would take
it was
the
pretty
voice
much
boxes out of the toys.
Everything that atheists, every crazy caricature of Christianity that atheists have, like, gets worked out in that little subculture, and that's why I hate it. Because, like, the rest of us aren't like that. See what I'm saying? But, you know, they do have a point when they, you know, that type of thing. But, yeah, anyway, it's Samael. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there's some useful stuff that comes from that crew, because there are tips and tricks that have been actually helpful in the area of supernatural stuff that I've utilized many times and I've seen actually work. And they're the ones that introduced me to those concepts. So it's not all, but I mean, a lot of it was really crazy. I remember, like, they said Super Mario was demons, like, in the screen.
Yeah, I just.
They would take the voice boxes. Remember the Furby? The Furby they said was demon possessed. I think
the fact that God is gracious and worked around those people doesn't mean that they had good points about anything. I just.
But that means it's a good point if God worked around it and God brought a good point out.
No. God brought the entire world salvation through the crucifixion of an innocent man. We don't go, hey, let's go crucify innocent people, because God brought something good out of it. So just because God brought something good out of some practice you learned from those folks doesn't mean necessarily that it was good.
That it was a good practice?
Yeah, it might just mean God felt sorry for the person and wanted to deliver them. And you guys just happen to be the only people around. But I've seen way more harm brought to people in the name of Christ in that subculture than I've ever seen anything good. You know, I've seen a lot of, you know, crazy shit. Your daughter's left-handed. You know, that's a sign of demon. Like, that's the brand of Christianity that set people on fire.
Yeah, I knew somebody that was having seizures, and they didn't put her on medication. They would just kept. Yeah, and I believe in praying over people for healing. Certainly, I was healed as a child. I was going to be hooked up to dialysis the rest of my life from the time that I was, like, I don't know, freaking 4 years old or something like that. I was going to be hooked up to dialysis for 2 hours every single day, I think is what they said. But God healed me of that, and God saved your life and healed you too. So I firmly believe in that. But, like, I don't think I do think that God gave us the wisdom of medicines and different stuff that we can utilize to heal ourselves. And even in the Bible, there's a verse where one person says to the other person, like, drink a little wine for your stomach. He didn't say just pray and expect it to be healed.
Stop drinking only water, but mix wine with it, because they were using wine as a disinfectant, because the water in, you know, Second Temple Judaism was like the water in Tijuana. And so he said, take some so you used to mix alcohol with your water so that you could keep the water down. But there were some people that would take vows, religious vows, and they wouldn't touch any wine. And so the older guy writes to the younger guy and says, that's very nice of you, but you need to take wine for your weak stomach, man. Like, let's just be practical about this. You got to find your way to devote yourself to God some other way, because this is not working for you. You want to build practice. See, Christianity is a very practical religion. So, like, I can't stand that subculture, because I have a policy that I'm never going to disown my people. So if an atheist comes to me and says, you guys believe in superstitious bullshit, blah, 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 I'm never going to say, those people aren't Christian. We don't believe that. Yeah. Like, you can't do that. Yeah. So same thing with the Crusades. Like, I'm always going to own my people. I just can't stand that. Because it's like, sometimes superstition is just innocent, but a lot of times it's just a control mechanism. I mean, at a meta level, superstition functions as a way to give us the illusion of control in the first place. Oh, step on a crack, you break your mother's back. You have no control as to whether or not your mom's going to fall down the stairs. You have no control as to whether or not she's going to get in a brutal car accident. But you do have control over whether or not you step on a crack. So superstitions, a lot of times at a meta level, function to give us the illusion of some sort of control. And in that sense, it could be psychically healing. But on the other hand, as I said in the previous situation, the cost to me is just too much.
Oh, 100%.
The cost is just way, way, way too much.
Delaney, right here. Boop. Delaney, actually, it's the opposite. That everything, there's a verse here I'm going to read to you, James 1:17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, who does not change his shifting shadows. That's James 1:17. So that tells us that everything good comes from God. And we also know, looking at the crucifixion, which Vin just brought up earlier, like, it was the most horrific event that happened in history, to see the God of the universe is being crucified and killed on a cross at the hands of human beings. And that brought about the ultimate good, because that granted us access to our Father. So we're kind of at this place where, like, even like good and bad both comes from God, because God he's working the bad to bring about the ultimate good. But certainly everything good, comes from God. And in the life of a Christian, we have that verse that says that God is working all things for our good. So even the most painful points of our life, just like the cross was the most painful thing, brought about that ultimate good. Like, those really painful parts in our lives, like, there's two ways. This is one thing that I've really learned over the last probably 5 years, is that you have two, maybe more, but I'm going to simplify. You have two ways that you can take when you're faced with an event. And when you're faced with pain and you're faced with horrible things that come or whatever, you can get bitter about it and you can say, why is this happening to me? I shouldn't be this, blah, 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 blah. Or we can accept those things as from God's hand and say, everything has been sifted through God's hand that is coming into my life. And even though I'm in pain, and even though my life seems like whatever sort of way, like, God is in this every second. He's walking with me through this. And those two perspectives alter the course of how you're going to experience something. It was like that, might seem like a little bit of an outlandish story, but there was this person that had been molested when they were a child. And was really like something that was bringing them great pain throughout their life. Every time they thought about it, it was just really, really horrible. They sat down with a therapist, and when they were walking it through with the therapist, it turned out that it was like when they were like 4, and it was with like a 4-year-old. And so then it was more like, this is more like kids' curiosity. This is not like a grown person, like completely taking advantage of the child. And that perspective changed how she looked at it, and it actually made like a really big positive change in her life. She was kind of able to heal from that. So I think that principle is true in all of our life, that if we can look at a situation and we know that situation, as much as it hurts or as horrible as it is, that God is working something good in our lives through it, and that in the end he's going to be glorified through it and we're going to be exalted in it, then there's something different from it. But if we see all the bad things as like we're being crushed beneath it, and there is chaos and nobody's in control of this, and you're just like a punching bag for the universe, then it's a different feel, and you're going to experience those two. The exact same event can be experienced two different ways. So there's a lot of principles in the Bible that, if we apply them, really help us mentally to not get just dragged down under the weight of what happens around us and to us.
Yeah, I think the other thing, too, is to recognize that we're not dualists. In other words, we do not, and I kind of said this, and you probably picked up on this. I don't know, because I don't know what time you came in, but I remember I said Cat Williams said something to Joe Rogan, and they're like, it works at the regular level, but it doesn't work at the second level, and she just hit on it. So we're not dualists. In other words, we do not believe that the devil...
the one you said Perkinos would be.
Yeah, we do not believe that the devil is equivalent to God.
No.
So if I say all good comes from God and all bad does not come from the devil, it works, because we're not saying that these two beings are equals on the opposite ends of the spectrum. One is the infinite self-sustaining creator. The other is to be honest with you, a janitor who's angry at the CEO. I mean, that's honestly what it comes down to. And so what that means, Delaney, is that the devil can have an intention, but he may not have the power or the permission to carry it about. That's why I said not every bad thing is the devil's fault, because the devil does not have the power to execute his will in the world omnipotently, because he's a created being. Mm-hmm. God, on the other hand, does. Mm-hmm. And so that's why the scripture says every good and perfect gift comes above from the Father of lights. What's interesting about that passage that you brought up, because the passage that you brought up is talking about God as the Father of lights, plural. And in this song...
Oh, boy.
What in this song,
tell me.
The name of the song is Fire, right? Like
Dawn of Infinite Fire.
Infinite Fire. Okay.
Yep.
And look what it says: He who burns within with lightless flames.
Yo.
He who brings me with black salvation. and thousands of names. So right there, you can see, there it is again. This is a dawn of the infinite fire, a shining without light. And I think that that's very important, because if you have a shining without light, that means that it's an illusion. It's not really light. It's actually darkness. And it seems that in this song that this young lady has been harmed, probably by religious people. I'm not going to go like to what I completely suspect, but this young lady seems to have a very deep desire for power and identity. In both the songs that we looked at, she wants power and identity. And in this song at the end, it's heartbreaking. She says, I'm a daughter of Lucifer. That's really specific. She didn't say I'm a child. You know, there's a sense in which the term man is very general. The term child is general, but female pronouns are really, really specific, especially when you're talking about literature. You talk about mankind, you never talk about womankind. My point is, she's being very specific here. She wants to be associated with someone still. She's not saying, I'm going to go out on my own and do my thing and fuck everybody. She's saying, I have a father. I want to be part of a family. I want an identity. And I want power so that the people who hurt me don't have the power to hurt me again. And this is one of the major misses in Christianity when it comes to quote-unquote devil music. It's like we're so pedestrian and superstitious. You know, Tina, I think Tina was alluding to some superstition in Christianity as well. But like we're so, you know, it's like the minute you hear 666 or you see this person in corpse paint and tattoos and she sings she's a child of Lucifer, it's like, yeah, let's just not analyze it all.
How we got there.
Let's just react to it.
Yeah.
To me, I'm seeing a very hurt individual who refuses to quit, and is grasping as much as she possibly can to still somehow have an identity as a child of the devil, a daughter of Lucifer. But she wants to be able to live in such a way as to have an identity and not have those dangers. She wants to be protected from it. It's tough. It's very, very tough.
The ending of the song says, a shining without light. I am the bearer of infinite wisdom, a daughter of Lucifer. And that made me think immediately about Proverbs 9. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. That I think about that verse a lot. And I just thought that kind of like, the other thing too that I thought was interesting was the whole, you were touching on it before, talking about a shining without light. And you talked about, you know, probably maybe she's been hurt in her life and stuff. And a lot of times people use that euphemism, is that the correct word? Like, when you've been hurt, that they stole light from you, they stole from you. And so when she says a shining without light, I don't know, that's a hard listen to, especially I guess from a parent perspective. But yeah, shout out to this band, shout out to the writer. What I love about it is that she's really raw and honest, and she's not trying to hide and be like, you know, this is where she's at. She said, she who fills my heart with putrid hate.
That's Lilith, I'm assuming.
Probably, yeah.
Right, and you know, so.
The other thing too, he who brings me black salvation with thousands of names. And remember when Moses was going to go to Egypt, he was like, well, who am I supposed to say sent me?
Right.
Because they worshipped so many gods at that time that when he was going to go before Pharaoh, who represented Ra, the sun god, he had to say, look, he was telling Pharaoh, let all these slaves go, like all of them, let them go. That was going to completely change Egypt as it was. But he was like, I can't just go over there and just say, he's going to ask who's saying this? Who's backing this? Who's the authority behind this that's going to enforce this if I don't do what you're saying? And so when Moses asks the burning bush, which he's talking to Yahweh, he asks him, who do I say sent me? He said, I am that I am. And so he just says, I am. And that's so like simple, like I am. But then when you think about when it said thousands of names, it reminded me of Legion. Remember when the person that was like filled with demons, they were like
she mentioned
tearing
Legion.
themselves to pieces and throwing themselves in the flame. And when they were asked, what is your name? They said, our name is Legion, for we are many. Like they were captivated by so many demons internally. That has got to be terrifying. Like a friggin' black hole. Like living in a black hole. Like if you're that person and you're like they said that they would hear him screaming from
what happens with his consciousness when those things take over. What do you give the song?
Yeah. I'm gonna give this one a 9.2.
I'll give it a solid 9. Solid 9. I'd like to interview this
I would too.
band.
I said it the last time. You guys, if you're open for an interview, send us an email, vinandsori@gmail.com.
I'd be very interested. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I just want to hear
Yeah, just love to hear the story and
Just
ask
wanna
some
hear the story.
questions and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
We got more metal coming for you losers.
We do.
You losers.
Losers.
On the back of the thingamajiggy. Hold on. Let me open up my email because we got to get what's his face's video.
I'm going to need a timestamp too.
Well, we could say it ended at 108:13. Okay, guys, we have a special commercial for you. I know you guys wanted. Can you just forward that email to Sarah? I know you guys wanted the regular commercial, but we're gonna actually give you a commercial. We're gonna give you a season 3 sort of preview. I'm lying to you. It's not a season 3 preview. Hey,
Wolves in the Mist, whatever. What's up? I mean,
the next band has been done once on this channel, and Sori hated it.
Oh no! And we have 2 songs about them.
Now I need to hear this band. If you hated it.
That means you might really like it. Who knows?
I'm gonna love it.
You're gonna love the fuck out of it.
I'm gonna love it. Wow, did you have to do that? That's crazy. Look at you. You feeling you feeling it, huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling free. I'm feeling good.
You're feeling it.
All right, you got that thing downloaded?
I didn't get nothing downloaded. Did you send it to me in the thingamajiggy?
You told me to email it to you. I did.
Where? Well, you sent it as an email?
That's what you told me to do.
Talk to the people.
That's what you told me to do. All right. I am pulling
Feel
up
the high that you get from the line.
Sori doesn't hate anything. Untrue, Dwayne. I hate when people talk to me when I'm cooking. It drives me crazy because I always make mistakes. You should see the shitty food I made yesterday because nobody would stop talking to me. And then
because
they say,
she wouldn't say leave me alone.
I do
that's
say
the real,
it. It's
that's
just
the real
I don't
issue,
stand behind it, so everybody knows
the real
I'm not
issue
really
is
serious.
that she won't assert herself. So
what happens is the
kids take advantage.
They all
of
want
it.
to. Oh, but mom, we want to tell you these things. We want to show you our
These
stuff.
kids are homeschooled.
And I want to see the stuff. Yeah, I know.
These kids spend way more time with us as parents than any other kids on the face of the earth.
I'm gonna start charging them.
And she just can't say no. And then she wants it both ways. She wants to be able to be the hero for the kids and then still cook the thing perfectly.
You can't. It's impossible.
You can't.
You know
have it all.
You know how many sticks of butter I've completely melted in the microwave because it was only supposed to be in there for 10 seconds. But I kept my hand on the door, my finger on the knob so I could stop it. As I'm in this position, somebody comes up to me. Literally the same person has done this to me like 5 times.
Shout out to Joe Biden for standing up for you.
They start talking to me. Joe Biden stood up for me.
Joe Biden stood up for you. Hey, folks. Leave Sori alone.
No,
she's a nice lady doing woman stuff in the kitchen.
Wait a minute. That's inflammatory to some groups of people. I will accept it. I love working for my family in the kitchen, but I don't like it when they talk to me while I work for them. Melted the entire stick.
I just tell you to leave me alone. Or it's I tell them when we're done the show, get the hell out of my room.
I know. You should see how offended they look when I say it.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, what I said was so much nicer the way that Vin says it. But everybody's like,
yeah, they're all wooed.
But you tell him, he's like, get the hell out of my room.
No.
And they're like, walking out of the room. I'm like, what?
Women belong in the kitchen, subhanAllah.
Dwayne.
Yeah, exactly. I never understood that about the cooking thing because, literally, all the best chefs are dudes.
Do they get paid for it?
Yes.
Women are the only ones that do it for fucking free.
No, I mean
that's the difference. We do it for free. It's a different category.
All right. Here we go.
You didn't know what you were walking into.
Crypta.
That hardly ever happens. You're like, yes!
Echoes of the Crypta, Echoes of the Soul. I don't know.
What happened?
Okay, I see you.
Hold on. Let me see.
Echoes of the Soul.
Wait, don't do anything. Don't touch that dial. Okay, Crypta, Dark Night of the Soul is next. And he said, the all-female Brazilian death metal crew make their return to Vin and Sori channel tonight. The next two songs are from their debut album, Echoes of the Soul. Cool. Crypta, Dark Night of the Soul. Vin and Sori, you're going to watch the official band playthrough. Okay, start. Hold on. Pause. Talk to the people.
Why?
While I get this up.
Okay, so that's the one we're watching. We're watching the official on that side, right?
Right.
Okay, all right. And then this one is a full album. So what's the timestamp?
I'm going to give you that in just 1 second, 2 seconds.
Hey, controller in this bitch.
What's up,
yes,
controller?
I will commit to doing a bracket. Give me a deadline, middle.
Okay, 31:23.
Okay, 31:23. All right, guys. While that's happening, feast your eyes on this amazing.
Wait, tell me.
Commercial break.
Oh, okay.
That was anticlimactic. All right, guys. There it is right there.
Yours truly, Archero. Once again, made a commercial.
Yes, you dumb butts.
Dumb.
What? Why is it? Okay.
Your browser can't play this video?
Do it and then download it. Talk to the people.
Okay. All right, you guys. Well, I'm back.
You should have had this done.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I apologize, you guys. I forgot about it. I'm not really a sports person, so I know that's no excuse, but that's the one I'm going with. All right. Let me just guys.
The things I have to go through.
Poor Vinny. Random ask me anything, you guys. So go for it. Start up that comment section and start asking weird questions for me to ask Vin to answer. Because anytime I start answering, he goes, wait, what? What did they say? And then you end up answering anyway. So go ahead, ask the questions. I could make a commercial too. Give me the chance. Franco, 100%. I can't say that we're definitely going to use the commercial. But that was kind of one of the things that we were thinking about, was putting it out there to be like, people can try to make commercials and we'll, maybe use some of them, maybe use parts of some of them or whatever. So if you want to do that, you want to shoot your shot, go for it. We saw that documentary that he put together of The Warning.
Yeah, that was
that quality.
That was actually a pretty good doc.
Yeah.
He did a really good job on that.
Okay, Dwayne asks, why is there a Women's Week? There's a Women's Week because men make everything about themselves every other day of the year. So we have to have at least 1 week. Apparently, actually, in all seriousness, I'm pretty sure it started out with Women's Day, but there was so many events that they had to stretch it out, give us more time.
Was it really? Is that true?
That's what I read, but I don't research like Vinny does. I see something, I'm like, ooh, interesting, and then I'm off to something else. So, maybe that was just Joe Schmo who created a website and wrote that information. Maybe it has nothing to do with anything. Vin and Sori just want to chill and hang out. Let me know. I would love to get on a live with you both. Okay, Wolves in the Mist, do you have something you would like to discuss if you got on a live with us? We actually used to do that with our firesides. We would do a call-in. So I'm sure that there's going to be opportunities for that when we start doing that again in season 3.
And African Americans get an entire month? Unfair! As if you use the term African American. Say it ain't so!
Say it ain't so!
Say it ain't so!
All right. Are we ready?
What did Roy Jones say? I never set foot a day in Africa!
Oh no!
Forgot what his name was.
Dwayne.
My wife knows her place. Please don't tell her.
Why would you read that out loud?
No, because his wife knows her place. What's the problem? He just told us not to say his shit out loud.
And you just went and announced it. I was like, look what Dwayne said. And then you're like, blah, 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 blah.
All right.
Shout out to Dwayne's wife.
Here's
Shout out to that couch. I hope it's comfy.
Here's the commercial. March Madness, bitches.
Oh, boy.
Hey, villagers. This is Archero, and I'm bringing you the top 5.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
This is a
Hey villagers, this is Archero, and I'm bringing you the top 5 reasons you should sign up and play March Madness with us this year. Number 5, this is a fundraiser. All of the money that we raise goes to help other villagers who have fallen on hard times and need a little help. We were able to help multiple. Hey villagers, this is Archero, and I'm bringing you the top 5 reasons you should sign up and play March Madness with us this year. Number 5, this is a fundraiser. All of the money that we raise goes to help other villagers who have fallen on hard times and need a little help. We were able to help multiple villagers this past year, and we want to keep on being able to do that. Number 4, it's cheap. It only costs $1 a minimum to play with us. Number 3, you don't have to know anything about basketball. The last 2 years, the winner of the bracket actually picked completely at random. So
It's for the good of the community is what we were saying.
You called them cheap bastards.
You don't even have to know basketball. The last 2 winners knew not a damn thing about basketball.
Wait, that means I could be involved.
That means, you should get a bracket.
Ah!
Can we get Soraya to commit to a bracket this March Madness?
the winner of the bracket actually picked completely at random. So you don't have to feel like you have to know a lot about college basketball in order to play with us. Number 2, bragging rights. Every time you win, you get to tell your villagers how much smarter you are and how much more you know than they do. And it's a lot of fun.
Wait, but you said we didn't need to know anything.
Have a lot of fun with it. And the number 1 reason is the winner will get a free song reaction from Ben and Sori. So that's, instead of paying the $75 usual rate, it's a free song reaction just
Actually,
for
that's $125
$1 that you paid to join us. So here's how it works. If you will search for Ben and Sori GoFundMe, you'll find our page to make a donation. Like I said, it's a minimum $1. You're encouraged to do more if you can. But once you make your donation, send an email to me at venandsorimarchmadness@gmail.com. I will respond back to you with a link telling you where to go on ESPN.com so that you can create a bracket and join our village tournament group. You can start filling out your brackets on March 17th, that's Selection Sunday, and then all of the tournament brackets will be locked when the first game starts on the morning of March 21st. So that's the deadline you have to get your bracket filled out. This is a ton of fun. I look forward to seeing you all there.
Okay, so Dwayne's ungrateful ass says, just one reaction? Vin and Sori are tightwads.
Wait, what happens if I play and I win?
Okay.
Then Dwayne's going to have to react to my song.
Archero, let's sweeten the pot. Let's sweeten the pot.
Sweeten the deal here.
And see if somebody can't win a 4-song stream.
Ooh.
So
why don't you just do 4 winners?
If we get
4 winners and they each pick a song.
Well, if we get Archero, send me the list of how many participants we've had in a year, and I will set a goal, and I'll say if we have X participants, instead of winning 1 song, you'll win 4 songs. And then the winner can choose. You can give 3 songs away. You can keep all 3 for yourself. Whatever. So, Archero, get me the averages for the last 3 years, and then I'll put up an aggressive number. And if we can get X amount of participants, and that winner will get 4. That winner will get 4 songs. So it'll be more bang for your buck.
Yeah. So stop.
It'll be more bang for your
tightwad, Dwayne.
Trump just said it was rigged.
Yep.
Rigged, I tell you.
You would know.
Yeah. Oh, God. All right, guys, here we go. Song number 3.
Hey, villagers, this is Archero, and I'm bringing...
Thank you, Archero.
Yeah, for real. Thank you.
Yeah, so if we can get 20 to sign up, then the winner is going to get a 4-song stream.
I love that idea.
I got to get more involved in all this stuff. This is terrible. I got to get involved. You got to get more involved. Come on! All right, let's go. Send me the link. I'll get my bracket up. We'll really get into it. So a stream of songs for as little as $1 USD. Right. Yeah. So get us at least 20 participants.
Yeah.
Right? And if you can get us 40 participants, we'll do a 6-song stream. And that's it. To end up like the other thing.
Honestly, sometimes when we do business together, Vin will be like, free for this, free for that. I'm like, babe.
It's gotta be better. It's 8 to 10. Our Cheryl's been doing it. We're trying to help people.
You know what? I'm willing to do it for all the work that our Cheryl has put into it for years.
Yeah, I have no excuse.
Yep. You know what?
And this is important. This is for our
it's for our people. Yeah.
This is for our people.
Yeah.
If you can prove there's a God, I will pay for 10,000 songs. Well, the fact, BC, that you are able to speak to me in a logical, coherent fashion, and that I can understand what you're saying from thousands of miles away, necessitates literally hundreds of intentional moves that could not have been any other way other than somebody superintending it. You can send the 10,000 song request to vinandsorymerch@gmail.com. And then we'll spend the next 7 years doing
breaking
all
those
of those.
down.
1 million rupees for 6 songs.
1 million.
All right, song number 3.
Let's go. Wait, is DJ Ben even still here?
Yay, BC just bought us 10,000 BC's like, Johan bet us $200 on something. He lost that shit. I'm still trying to figure out if we're really going to jam him up.
Guys,
for that $200.
this is what happened. Vin went into the room. I said, hey, where'd my husband go? Where's your father? They said, I said, did he go in the room or did he leave? Because if he left, I got to go. And they said, oh, no. He went back in the room. I said, I don't think he went back in the room. So I go and I check the room. He's not in there. I come out. I'm like, yeah, he's not in there, you guys. Wow. And then they said, what? They look at me like I'm a moron. They're like, Mom, I'm sure you missed him. He's in there.
Yeah.
And I said,
they love doing that. They love looking at us like we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
I said, oh, really?
Love the condescension.
Are you willing to bet on that? And he said, yeah. I said, well, let's bet $200 that your dad is not in. I'm betting he's not in that room, and you bet that he is. He shook so fast. And I said, now go in there and find him.
What a moron that kid
Took a while for him to walk around.
I mean, I love him. He's my kid, but holy hell. That was just so unwise.
Maybe I'll give him that $200 to scrape that wax off the wall. Like, you can have your money back. Just get all that wax off the wall.
Nah, you ain't getting shit, bro. You ain't getting shit. I'm going to take you $200. I'm going to advise you not to make stupid wagers with people next time.
This is the thing. They already did this with me before.
Dumb decision on his part.
Well, I'll tell you. I did this thing where I made this bet with them, but I was lying. If they did the bet, they would have won. But I kept straight face, like acting like you guys are crazy to do this bet, but sure, whatever, do it. And so they backed out of it, like they were this close to making like $500. They backed out of it at the last second. They almost shook my hand, didn't. And then they were like, nah, I'm not going to do it, because they were like, she's too confident.
Look at BC. I have at it. My money is the same as God, non-existent.
Oh, no.
You lying bastard. How are you on the internet then?
Yeah, that
all right, here we go. Do not stand too close to BC. He's about to get hit by lightning. Delaney, you got to pray for your uncle BC.
Yep.
Because he's about to get struck by lightning. He's about to get struck by lightning. We need Delaney. God can't. Could you say no to Delaney if you were God? I'm like, all right, fine. I won't send him to hell. Come on.
Come on, back in.
You're responsible for him, Delaney. Get him out of here. All right.
He's going to be your project for the next 10,000 years.
10,000 fucking years with that guy. What's the timestamp?
That timestamp.
Yes.
I was waiting for the other
Crypta. You know this guy named Ben? He pays for songs to be reviewed.
It's going to start at 31:23.
All right.
Okay, but I need your timestamp, because that last one you gave me, that's way too far off. Because, you've been spending the last 15 minutes talking, so the timestamp's not correct.
Okay.
Right here. I already changed it multiple times.
126:48.
Yeah, we started at 17. Now we're up to 26. All right, let's go.
Big homie Dan in this bitch. All right, what was it again? 31:30 you said?
Oh, for the love. Okay, it's 31:23, and don't forget, I'm going to start this one over here. Are you playing? 31:23, and let me know when you're
trying to get it to 31:23, bro. What you want?
Yeah, when you get it there.
Damn.
When you get it there, let me know, because don't forget to play the official over here.
Yeah. You're such a weirdo.
I paid for this on the 3rd day of this very year.
Who said that?
DJ Ben, but I don't know why he said that. This very year.
All right, 31:23. All right, guys, here we go.
Okay, ready? We're gonna go at the same time.
What's the name of the song?
The name of the song is "Dark Night of the Soul."
Hey, it's at look at me, Mira. It's at 3:18, right?
Yep.
So just wait.
Because we're going.
Go. Where are the lyrics? Lyrics. This sounds scary as hell.
Silly old 19 years.
here, guys.
Sounds Mediterranean, right? Egyptian.
Oh, I like it. It did, yeah.
That was Dark Night of the Soul.
Yeah.
That was a very, very interesting
shit. I never
record.
looked at the lyrics at all.
Yeah, look at the last. Why are you crying? What's so
well,
emotionally
because
about this song?
Because it was called Dark Night of the Soul, and then at the end, like, it just, like, gets really beautiful. And for me, like, that was, like, I forgot what the name... The song was pretty chaotic as it was playing. I didn't hate it, actually. I know previously, I guess I hated this band. I didn't hate it at all. What?
That was very brave of Ben. Like, we've only listened to this band once, and you hated them at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but I enjoyed it this time. I was like, you know, vibing with it, but it was, you know, it had like that sort of chaotic, the vocal style was not my style. But we were talking about the name of the song is Dark Night of the Soul. So at the end of the song, all of a sudden when it switched like that, I was like, ooh, what is this? And then, and then I looked back and I looked at the name, cause I had the official over here. So I didn't see the lyrics the entire time. So I went from hearing like all of this, like sort of chaos, I guess, from my vantage point. Then all of a sudden it switched into that like beautiful stuff. And then I came back to the title of the song, which was Dark Night of the Soul. And I was like, yo, that's what the all of that chaos is like, the Dark Night of the Soul and the confusion and everything that goes along with it. But then like that beautiful part for me was when Jesus breaks through and is there. So that for me was like a spiritual point that I didn't expect. And so I had my like little moment. You guys were just, you know,
I see.
Here for it.
That makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't see the lyrics at all. I gotta say, if we've seen this before, I never saw it contrasted to this degree. The girl that had her hair, the blonde hair, that looked really cool in the video because a lot of time we go with straight hair. This was curly hair. And it was like very blonde and it was like the black and white picture on their official video. And it was like, so you had like the dark haired girl and the blonde girl and it was going back and forth, but it like visually looked really cool in the black and whites. Loved that. Love that. Yeah. Well, let's look at the lyrics unless you had something to say. I'm just running this entire thing now.
No. Obviously as a guitarist, you know, that was like the big thing for me.
What was that symbol on her guitar?
Like, I don't know. It was some Egyptian.
It was pretty cool.
There's a couple Egyptian
symbol,
type tattoos. There was
neck.
the Ankh.
Yep.
And then there was the eye. I don't know if that's the all-seeing eye.
Was the eye on her hand?
Eyes on the pyramid. Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that was the eye. Yeah.
Disenchanted and hopeless, painful feeling of emptiness, alone in a meaningless universe, old confining beliefs collapse. Soul screaming out, obscuration of myself, rude awakening, deep perception of my true self, dark night of the soul.
It's like, it sounds like somebody who is coming out, when it said old confining beliefs collapse, there is something about turning from those old paths. Oh my God, I'm going to get so emotional. I'm going to try not to get emotional for you guys. We were talking before about like, we saw groups of people that were led by other people that, some people might consider them a little too traditional, maybe a little bit too boring. But when those traditionalist, boring people were out of the picture, life kind of got chaotic for people.
Yeah.
And so that lyric kind of reminded me that old confining beliefs collapse. Like, in the one sense, you're saying that those belief systems, they were confining you. But in the other sense, when they collapse, like that, the whole like alone in a meaningless universe, like when you have a whole belief system and that belief system is collapsing, like it kind of disenchanted and hopeless, painful feeling of emptiness, alone in a meaningless universe.
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume she went from some sort of theism to atheism because she's talking about a major shift in her fundamental belief system, and it's hard for me to conceive of her going from an atheist to a theist perspective and then saying that the universe is meaningless.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right? What's fascinating is that it doesn't seem to me that she has reconciled herself to the ramifications of what she's saying. Because if you go up here, you say alone in a meaningless universe. Okay, so there's no God, the sky is empty, everything is meaningless. Cool. But then how do you get a soul? If there's no God, where does your soul come into play?
Yeah.
When you say your true self, what are you talking about? If there is no God, then you are just a collocation of accidental, purposeless atoms that for some inexplicable reason maintain together, and then you are a combination of water, amino acids, and a couple other things. And somehow, when all that stuff gets mushed together, not only do we magically find consciousness, but we also find peculiar consciousnesses. Meaning, why is my experience of what's happening right now different from hers, even though we're using the exact same physical mechanisms of perception? So there's a lot of questions. I'm not saying that she's wrong or that atheists are wrong or modern atheists are wrong. Obviously, I'm a theist, so I believe by definition that they're wrong. But I'm not saying that they're wrong because they're not reconciling these ideas. I'm just saying that I don't think that there is what we know intuitively and then what we say we believe.
Yeah.
And those are not the same thing all the time.
Right.
And so it's like I could say Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback there ever was in NFL history. I can say that. But I know Patrick Mahomes is way more talented than Tom. I know that. Right?
Yeah.
But if we're having a debate, you're going to see me talk and you'll be like, yo, this dude really believes that Tom Brady is better than Patrick Mahomes. I don't. But I have other reasons for why I'm going to say that if we get into an argument. And so this question is really important.
Yeah, I think the other thing too that I pulled out here, it says alone in a meaningless universe. So if you have a universe that's completely meaningless, how can you have a true self? Deep perception of my true self. Where's the true part of yourself? Like, how can there be? Truth is a foundation. Truth is something you can rest on. That is not something that's meaningless, and nor is it something that's in a vacuous environment. So we're talking about a meaningless universe juxtaposed to a true self.
It's fascinating because here's BC, who's correctly pointing out a consistent materialist worldview. What is a soul? Measure the weight of the soul. Correct.
Yep.
That is a question or a response that every consistent materialist or physicalist would use. If I can't measure the thing in a lab, it's not real. Okay? That's physicalism. So you can't point me to the location of the soul, therefore it's not real. Okay? That's the argument. But of course, what BC doesn't realize is that BC's entire worldview is based on the laws of logic. When you go to a person says, I don't believe in this religion stuff. I believe in the scientific method. I agree. Mashallah. The scientific method is dependent and contingent upon the laws of logic.
Yep.
BC, you will never find a lab anywhere in the universe where you can measure the law of non-contradiction. There's no lab that's going to tell you what the circumference of the law of the excluded middle is, etc., etc. The idea that the only thing that's real are things that could be put in a lab is completely undercut by the very fact that you have a scientific method in the first place. Science is based on logic and reason, and logic and reason are non-physical phenomena. So it's impossible. It is impossible. It is impossible for secularists to justify even the concept of reason itself. The concept of reason indicates that there are ultimate truths. And what we're calling reasons are simply the mental machinations that we use to get to the truth. Mm-hmm. That's all reason is. Reason is the vehicle by which we get to and apprehend truth. Mm-hmm. Now, you say there's no ultimate God, there's no ultimate truth, then reason is just completely nonsensical as an idea. It's a complete non-starter right from the beginning. these are things that require meditation. Now look. Gibberish.
Talking gibberish.
I don't think it's gibberish to say that we rely on the scientific method to ascertain reality, and the scientific method is contingent on the law of logic, and the laws of logic are not measurable phenomena that we see in the physical universe. These are acts of mentation that are non-physical and are metaphysical, which would indicate that consciousness would be fundamental and not matter. That's the argument. I don't think it's gibberish. I think some of the best physicists and physicalists in the world today are struggling mightily to defend it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gibberish.
What you're saying is we understand physical matter, stuff that's worked out in a science lab by using logic, and logic can't be measured in a lab. So that means that logic is outside of that scientific stuff. So
and superior to it.
Superior to it because that's how we measure.
The scientific method is contingent on it.
Right. I think that's what he's saying.
Right.
It's a little.
So.
Vinny's very smart.
That's all I'm saying. So when this woman is talking about there's an empty universe, but then simultaneously she's talking about a soul, and then the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is almost exclusively a religious Christian concept.
Yeah.
It is what happens to saints when they go through a terrible period of time. And this is a common phenomenon. And this phraseology originally came from a Christian worldview. So this is what I'm saying with this woman. I'm like, at the one hand, she's saying, "Oh, my confining beliefs have collapsed," which is really interesting because a lot of people look at the law of God or belief in God as confinement, and now you're free. But it's like even in the song, and it's almost a theme when people like reject God and go to the dark side. There's still a price.
Yeah.
So now she's like, you know what? I'm not listening to any of this hocus pocus bullshit. I'm a modern person. I don't need any of this stuff. Cool. And now you're in a dark night of your soul. You're about to kill yourself. So all I'm saying is that, like, I think we got to think these things through a little bit more before we start making these statements. Soul is screaming out, obscuration of myself, rude awakening, deep perception of my true self. You know what's funny? I was listening to Sam Harris about a year and a half ago, and Sam Harris, being consistent with his professed atheism, says that the self is a myth. There is no self.
Wait, who's that? Sam Harris?
Sam Harris.
Okay.
He literally said, there's no such thing as a self. You are your body. Right? Because if a person says, when you say myself, you're saying that there's a part of you that's separate from your body. And you're kind of like a ghost in a machine driving around this body. So Sam Harris is like, no, let's be consistent with our atheism. No, you don't have a self. All of your actions and your inclinations, even your thoughts, are pre-programmed by nature. This is compatibilism. You're not actually making any decisions. Your brain is a computer. It's on autopilot. You're not actually free making any real decisions. That's the alternative.
But why do you suffer then? How can you suffer if you're pre-programmed and you're just doing what your programming is?
Well, you're suffering as a reaction to stimuli. That has nothing to do with whether or not that situation was planned, right?
I guess it sounded so robotic when you said it that way.
Well, it is. But think about it. Think about it. From their perspective, the brain is just a control center to work the machine. And a lot of that shit is automatic. Like, you're not telling your heart to breathe. You're not telling your lungs to breathe, blah, blah, blah. So Sam Harris is saying, the things that you think are choices are not choices either. So me doing this show right now is just another effect of my brain as much as my heart beating or my lungs beating would be. That's the idea. So you don't actually have an actual self in his worldview. And again, it sounds crazy, but it sounds crazy to people who have been raised with the idea that they have a soul and all the rest of it. So you see the conflict here. When she talks about dark night of the soul, surrenders to the dark night of the soul, look what she says. Freedom emerged through purging.
Yeah.
Annihilation of past belief, contemplation with radical honesty, growth to wider consciousness, learn from my own darkness. So what she's saying
Good luck.
What she's saying is, it was horrible. It went through a dark night of the soul, but I emerged on the other side of it. I'm now wider in my consciousness, and I've learned from my own darkness. For what reason, though? Because you said above that the universe is meaningless. So who cares if you're confronting this thing with radical honesty now? What is the value in radical honesty if the universe is empty?
And meaningless.
Now, for me, I understand radical honesty. Well, what is honesty? Honesty is allegiance to the truth. Okay, what is truth? Truth is that which corresponds to reality. Okay, what is God? God is ultimate reality. Okay, so that means the closer I get to truth, the closer I get to God. That's the calculation. That's why honesty is important in my worldview, because dishonesty gets me farther away from ultimate reality, and the goal of existence is to apprehend and enjoy ultimate reality. So dishonesty then stops me from that eventuality. That's why it's bad, and that's why honesty is good. But if the universe is empty and there's no reason for anything, then who cares about your honesty, and what is honesty in the first place? These are all things that I wish we would all think through together.
I think for me, I can't separate the where did she say she's learning from her own darkness?
Yeah. Growth to wider consciousness, learn from my own darkness.
But to me, I keep seeing the song kind of circular. So she learns from her own darkness, but then I go back up to the painful feeling of emptiness, alone in a meaningless universe. What you're learning from your own darkness is not truth. What you're learning from your own darkness is causing her obviously some great suffering. But yeah, wow, that's wild.
This is a very good observation by Controller, who usually has very good observations. She might conflate soul and personal faith with the church, and I separated from the evangelical church years ago. I don't know if I have officially separated from the evangelical church, but I do find myself saying things like the evangelicals the way I used to say the Catholics. And right now in my mind, evangelicals and Catholics are not too far apart, where, I don't know, 5 years ago, I'd have put them on different universes. I think that is a very, very astute observation and would reconcile the contradiction. Because you cannot have a soul, you cannot value honesty and truth and all these things in a completely atheistic worldview. But you can, if you're conflating, separating from God and separating with the ultimate conscious reality, if you conflate being in the church and with the church and being aligned with the church, especially your local church, especially a church you grew up with, because a lot of people have a very small understanding even of what the church is. Especially with the remnant theology, there's going to be 5 people saved. There's a lot of people that don't understand this about modern Western American Christianity. When modern evangelicals see declining numbers in Christianity, they celebrate because they think this means the rapture is right around the corner. They're happy about that. When they see apostasy in the Western world, they're happy about that because they're we're getting raptured in 2 minutes.
That's right.
And so it has terrible, that theology has terrible ramifications. It's one of the reasons why the Gazans are suffering as horribly as they are.
Yep.
I would say that I'm not going to say it's exclusively a Christian issue, but American evangelicals are we absolutely have a bunch of Gazan blood on our hands for sure. What were you?
Vince, since they are Brazilian, they probably are talking about the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
I think the other thing too for me when it hit that kind of end point, so Vinny talks about focus on the family sometimes, back in the day, that was kind of your chill point was to listen to them, and I've actually been putting them on as of late.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't know why my face just got flushed when I said that, but it did. I'm really enjoying listening to what they have to say and the sort of stability that they have, because they're I don't know, the way that they talk about things, it just kind of brings some focus on the family.
Oh, yeah.
And I had that when I was way a kid, and I think that I abandoned all of that stuff, but you do sort of feel now I'm just going back up to that original old confining beliefs collapse. I felt like that when I was abandoning all of that stuff, that sort of collapsing. And now I feel like I'm rebuilding, and I'm I'm more open to, you know, the Orthodox Church, the Catholic, you know, the Catholics, what do they have to say about things? Let's bring back the, you know, focus on the family and all that stuff. And I'm more open to listening to more people and taking in more information and saying, well, you know what, that's not right, but that's good over there. And just, I'm finding that feeling the collapse is horrible. And it does make you feel like you're in a sort of meaningless, painful emptiness, hopeless, very hopeless. But that ending of the song, when it just opened up and got beautiful like that, that to me is like the coming back and the rebuilding of those older ways, which was why I brought up those people that when they were around, the sort of traditional people, like life was better for people. But once those groups separated, life got really hard for people. I think that there's something to be said of some of the older ways. Like not everything in the old way is better, because some of the old ways are just are not. Mm-hmm. But some of those old ways are old ways for a reason. Yeah.
She says, obscuration of myself, rude awakening, deeper perception of my true self. See, that's the other thing, is that you really, you know, people say you can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from, blah, 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 blah. We've struggled the last 3 songs when these people have turned their back on their traditional Christian upbringing. All 3 of them have an identity problem.
Yep.
And so now she's talking about the obscuration of her true self.
Yeah.
How can you have a true self if you are just the reverberations of the mechanistic moves of your brain reacting to the environment for the cause of promoting your genes? That's the meaning of life from a secular view. So concepts like self, like an individual that has a like this idea that there's something like inherently valuable and unique about you is not a secular idea. All value in a secular and I'm not slamming secularism. I'm just talking pure logic here. All value in secularism is what they call fiction or legal fiction. We know you, young woman, have no actual ultimate value, but let's tell a story that you are valuable, and all of us will pretend that you're valuable, even all of us know inherently you're not valuable. So that's the truth. That's the ultimate truth in a secular worldview. If the sky is empty, that's the ultimate truth. So where do you get this idea that there's something unique about you that should be explored and celebrated? Well, I could tell you why. What I say is that you're in the image of God. You represent God on the earth, and there has to be billions and billions of us for all eternity, because God is an infinite being. And so the infinite aspects of the all of God's nature, all of who he is summed up in the one man, Jesus Christ, and then is democratized almost to us. So the reason I want to get to know Delaney and I want to understand her idiosyncrasies, and the reason that, when I think about health throughout the day, I am seeing something about God through Jay's music, or to Middle Earth, wisdom, or even Ben Webb's horrible sarcasm, but at root a real care for poor. I am seeing things about God that I would not have seen otherwise, and that is why it is literally an honor to know you people. But if the sky is empty and everything is,
I think the other thing too that's cool is that you're not given that honor of being made in the image and likeness of God and exalted to that point because you're a part of our religion. That's not just for Christians. That's for everybody. Every single person that's ever walked the face of this planet has been made in the image and likeness of God. And then you choose whether or not you're going to walk in that. So it's like, people are always out here saying like, oh, I wish I could be like that friggin' bird so I could fly off, or I could, run like that horse across the prairies or whatever. Like people always seeing like a being doing what it was ultimately made to do. And then we're like, I want to be that.
Yep.
You're not a horse. You're not a bird. Right. You're not a fish. You're a human being made in the image and likeness of God. And when you walk in that freedom, like we said, for freedom, Christ has set you free. That breaks those chains that she was talking about in the previous song. When you walk in that, then you are the dolphin swimming as a dolphin does. You're the bird that flies as a free bird. You're a person being what you were made to be, and you walk in that light. That's freedom.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
not just if you're part of our religion.
Yeah. Freedom is ultimately...
Our religion helps you to walk in it, though.
Our religion is the only way to freedom.
Right.
You can have echoes or reverberations or you know, you can be downstream of that. Like, for example, living in a Western world that has all these hospitals everywhere. Mm-hmm. So you can not be a Christian and benefit immensely. But if what Jesus said is true, it's the only way. He's the only way. He's the only way to find truth. And he's the only way to get ultimate revelation about who you actually are. You cannot know. This is the claim. You cannot know what you are or who you are without knowing him. End of story. That's the claim. Mm-hmm. And claims like that make life very simple. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm right, then you abandon everything and cling to that man, Jesus Christ. If I'm wrong, then forget it. Just listen to the song and hang out and play your guitar. Eat, drink, and be merry.
For tomorrow you die. It's the end of that verse.
But all I got is a man from Nazareth. That's all I got. But I do agree. The dark night of the soul is necessary for transformation, because most of us travel the path of least resistance. And I think there's a lot of lessons that I could have learned if I would have just sat down there and obediently read my Bible and said, okay. You know, there's a scripture where God says, don't be like the horse and the mule who has to have a bit and bridle on his mouth, otherwise he won't stay next to you. He says, I will watch you with my eye over. I will teach you in the ways that are good. So God's disposition is not to fuck my life up and put me in a dark night of the soul. Mm-hmm. But, you know, with me, I'm saying with me, most of those have to do with my own doing, to be honest with you. All right, smoke them if you got them. 9.4, dear listener. all these indictments are ruining my freedom. I am the most persecuted man in America. Look what happened to our great country. Hey, if Trump can still be a Christian, what's your excuse? Look at all the troubles that this man has had to deal with since the first day he was born.
Yeah.
9.8.
A small loan of $1 million.
A small loan of $1 million.
Okay, I'm going to get...
Your boy was struggling.
You gave this a 9.8?
I give it a 9.8.
Wow.
Your boy was struggling.
9.6 for me. Loved that ending after the whole thing.
I was struggling, bro. Hey, we got one more song for you beautiful people.
Well, I have one more thing to say. I also did that. You said sometimes the dark night of the soul is like by your own choosing. I absolutely did that. One of these days, I'm going to open up the package and let you guys hear more about it. But I absolutely chose a bunch of decisions for my life that were not, that brought me to a state of hopelessness. And this day, not like days previously when I was in it, but this day, I'm grateful for it, because if I didn't have the dark night of the soul let me see more where I was really at. Without the dark night of the soul, I think I would have thought that, you know, I was pretty much okay, but I was really in turmoil. And so I'm grateful for my dark night of the soul, because it brought me to like the ending of that song. So, you know, he was both gracious and merciful is what I say.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it brings meaning, and all I could say to you is, if you're not going through one, that means you just went through one, or you're about to go through one. And what I would say to that is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Pray.
Pray. And get your friends to pray for you. Mm-hmm. 9.8. We got one more song on the other side of the break, dear listener.
Right back.
One more song on the other side of the break. Commercial break. We'll be right back.
Play our...
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Bloodstained Heritage is up next by the band Crypta.
We got Dirk in this bitch. Dirk. Send me a text. I'm gonna send you some music, bitch.
Yeah, wait till you hear this.
Wait till you hear it. You're gonna kick yourself
For not coming up with some.
For not coming through.
All right, you guys.
Got one more song.
DJ Ben says I couldn't find a good live version, or at least not one that I felt that I'd find acceptable. Apparently he's a snob. No. I mean, they only just released their second album in 2023. So we'll listen to a regular studio recording, but before reviewing the song, please watch and show for all the second link for this song, 208 to 237. It's the last thing downloaded there.
Okay.
So we're starting at 208 and we're going for about 30 seconds.
Wait. I see. This is the thing with the intro at the beginning? Bloodstained Heritage?
Yeah, it should be that. It should be the last one. So
okay.
pull that up and go to
what's the timestamp?
Minute 208 to 237. So 208 and just
and then it bleeds into the song, right?
No, then you're gonna stop it and we're gonna put the next link, which is the song. So I don't even know what this is, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I didn't click on it.
So which one am I doing? Am I doing the Heritage Megar for Ditas? What am I doing?
I just pull the last one.
The last one?
Yeah.
You see there's two of them here, right?
Yep.
It's Bloodstained Heritage and then there's so both of them are Bloodstained Heritage.
Exactly. Pull
okay,
the
so
last
which one?
The last one, right there.
Okay, so this
pull that
one?
Okay.
Yep.
I go to minute 2.
Okay.
08.
So we're going to 208.
Yep. And watch 30 seconds of this before we put the song on.
Okay.
Ben, is this link 1? Hold on. Wait. Babe, pause it.
You said 208, right?
Yeah, but I just need to make sure. Then watch link 2. So is this one on the screen link 2?
Later, Tina.
If this is link 2, then grab. Oh, I see. I'm sorry, Ben. I apologize. Yeah, it's the one right before it. Because I thought it was the last one I did, but it's actually the one right before it.
All right. What's up, everybody? Like, share, comment, subscribe.
All right,
this is Crypta Bloodstained Heritage, you losers!
Okay, so go to 208 on that one.
All right, so we're going to 208, you said?
On that one, yep. And you're going to play 30 seconds of that. Then you're going to throw up the other one, which is the song. Apologies. I forgot which order I downloaded them in.
Okay, so 208 all the way down to the end of the track then. Is that what you're saying?
Is it that long? Yeah. Yep. That's going to be it.
And then the last song.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. All right, guys, here's Crypta. We're going to do a little bit of a
we don't
instrumental.
even know what it is.
And then we're going right into a song.
Okay.
Let's go. so
Okay.
we're playing that, and then we're gonna go into the other video.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. There's no instructions, except for what to do. But why? I don't know.
So now we're watching the live version.
All right, let's check
What's
it
the
out.
timestamp we're starting at for the second vid? From 2:08.
No, it doesn't. It should be the whole thing, I guess. How long is it?
It's 12 minutes, so that can't be it,
No,
right?
it can't be it.
Ben, help us out here, buddy.
Yeah, help us out, Ben.
Help us out, Ben. I don't know what's going on here.
He didn't give me a timestamp like he did on the other one. So
Play the song and then play the live clip in link 2 that I specified before doing your explication of the song. Yeah, but
what's the timestamp?
What's the timestamp for when the song starts, though, Ben? It says stop.
He said stop and listen to my instructions right now. I am a little confused, to be honest with you. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
So
he's gonna type out the instructions.
Oh, okay.
So we listen to the first half of the video. You can ask us anything while we figure this out.
Ask me anything.
Ask me anything. Talk to the people.
Random ask me anything. Maybe not so random. Oh, I'm going to change that timestamp after when we get it. Is he going to send... Are you sending it in email?
Mr. Joe, are you sleeping with Trump?
Oh my goodness.
That's terrible. I have not checked to see if I got your email yet.
Okay, sent the email to both of us.
We'll check for it after the stream for sure.
But if you wait a minute,
have a good
Split
night.
A piece of wood. Here comes a word from Jesus. Apparently, split a piece of wood. I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there. But if you throw your back, I can't help you with my medical plan. Oh.
I think that's like a Medicare for all thing, maybe.
Kai, hey, Sori, you got my message about the 2 songs. I did not. But I have your...
Ben at some point is going to give us...
Tomorrow I'm going to be in my email, so I'll get you back tomorrow, Kai.
Vin never reads my emails. It's because I'm indigenous. Just text me, bro. I told you this already, Dwayne.
Yeah. Ben, did you disappear? What happened?
For all of you who are wondering if Trump and Biden had anything weird going on, Trump denies that he would ever do anything with Mr. Biden. So there's that.
Okay. What do you mean? There's not talk of that. Is that people are just joking in the stream,
somebody
right?
in the thing asked for it.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
oh my gosh! Don't tell me there's another thing going on politically I didn't hear about. Gross. Yeah, you guys, you can ask us. I'm just gonna scroll here and find something here.
I'm waiting for Benji.
Yeah, I know. I don't. There you go. Did I get timed out?
Is that him? Ben, what are we supposed to do with this right here?
I'm confused.
What part in this song are we supposed to get to? Because this is 12 minutes here, so we're trying to figure out like where were we supposed to pick up from?
I think. Yeah, I think. From what I'm reading here, it almost looks like the link that you have up right here. would have been the 30 seconds to be played, and then the other 3-minute song would have been played straight through.
This is not a 3-minute song. This is a 12-minute song.
Yeah, that one I think we were supposed to play the 30 seconds of, and then this one, let me just double check. Did I open up the same thing? And then this one is
So we were supposed to play the first 30 seconds of this song, and then
I think the 12-minute one
between 2 minutes and 3 minutes of the second song.
I think that what was supposed to happen is, I'm not sure. I'm waiting for Ben to come through, but I think we're supposed to play this
Sori
one that's 12 minutes.
Sori's 100% correct.
Okay, so the one that you have up on here, this is where we were supposed to play the 30 seconds from.
So we're supposed to play the first 30 seconds from this.
So from this one, we were supposed to play 2:08 to 2:37.
Okay.
And then the other song that we played only the 30 seconds of, that one we were supposed to play straight through. But when we put it up there...
There was no song that we only played for 30 seconds.
Oh, did we play the whole thing? It did seem like it was longer than 30 seconds. But we had this one up there and...
Okay, so just tell me what we're supposed to do.
The one that's up right now, go to the 2 minute and 8 seconds.
Okay.
And play it to 2:37. So we're going to play 30 seconds of this.
Okay. And then what are we doing?
And then we're going to play the other video that's 4.5 minutes long. We're going to play that one straight through.
Again.
Well, if we already heard the whole thing, but...
Okay, so... All right, so from 2:08 to 2:37. And then we're just going to re-listen to the thing again. Okay?
Okay.
All right. If it's Ask Me Anything, is suicide a sin in Christianity? Is helping someone commit suicide the same thing as murder? I did a Middle America about 3 years ago on assisted suicide. I'm going to answer this question, then we'll do this.
Yep.
So I do not think it's biblically you can ever justify assisting someone with suicide.
Mm-hmm.
The scripture says we shall not kill. So you are a person God loves, so it's still a crime to kill someone God loves, and that's a major sin. And obviously, you do not want to leave the world in such a state. Now, the next question is, what happens to the soul of my loved one if they did that? And it's a very important question to me because I have multiple people in my family where that has happened. And it almost happened with me. So it's a very important question. I generally stay away from getting into the minutia of what happens after death to a person who commits suicide because to me, you cannot win. On the one hand, a person, if I say, well, they go to hell, then, I could be traumatizing a person for the rest of their life, and that may or may not be true. If I say, no, he was going through a hard time and God understands and they're in heaven, now I've just sanctioned suicide on my stream. So you can see why I wouldn't say what happens to the person after suicide. What I can say is that it is a sin to kill yourself. You are somebody that God loves, and your friend, and I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm just saying the proverbial you. Helping your friend kill themselves is still helping your friend kill somebody that God loves. So just like you wouldn't work with your friend to go kill a third party, if you're assisting suicide, you are essentially conspiring with your friend to kill someone. Just so happens that the someone is him or her, right? So what I'd say is we should avoid that. I'd also say that the Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. He's good to all. He has compassion on all he has made. As the scripture says, the Psalms say that he knows that we are dust, meaning he understands human weakness. When Jesus talked about the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, he did not mention murder in the complex of those passages. So murder is not the unforgivable sin. So if you've committed an act of murder in the various forms that are extant today, whether it's through war, through medical, whatever people want to, pretty it up as, if you've committed murder, it is not the unforgivable sin. That's clear in Scripture. But we shouldn't, the Scripture says, behold the kindness and the severity of God. So we should never presume on God's grace. And we should never presume on God's judgment either. All I can say about people who've left the world in that condition is that I commend them to the hands of a just, loving, empathetic. By the way, Christians are the only God who can have actual empathy because he actually became one of us. A real, honest, empathetic assessment of our life. And I would say ultimately that's why Jesus had to die. And God knows best. That's how I'd answer that question. All right.
Miss Mudd said something was pretty.
My father committed suicide when I was in high school. I just found out my older brother and husband helped him.
Sorry to hear that.
And look, and this is why I answered the question that way before I could even see it, right? When I said, you wouldn't work with your friend to kill someone like a third party. You would know, like, holy shit, we schemed together and killed someone. Just because the person you're killing happens to be me doesn't make it any less criminal. On the other hand, I don't know the circumstances of what was going on with your dad. I don't know what kind of pain he was in. I don't know the disposition of all those people. But if I was there, I would have absolutely said, no, you shouldn't do it. But I don't judge your dad.
Excruciating pain, she said.
I don't judge your dad. I don't judge your brother. And to be honest with you, between me and you, my mom's at the Lord now. My mom was a registered nurse. We were in Jamaica. And I remember one time very, very specifically when I was a little kid, being down in the basement, something with Jack Kevorkian came on. Jack Kevorkian was this guy who was just like killing people, doing all types of crazy shit, assisted suicide. And my mom was like, he's terrible, blah, 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 blah. And then she talked about a situation in Jamaica. I don't know what the particular malady was because she used all the legalese or whatever. And she didn't come out and say it, but she essentially said the doctor made a decision. She called it mercy killing. And she didn't get into the details, but long story short is that she played her position in that moment. You see what I'm saying? So when I say I don't judge people, I really, really can't. What I'm saying, though, is that God is the judge. And I don't know the circumstances. And God knows my mom's heart on the matter and the other doctor's heart on the matter. It's not my place to judge. All I could say is if I was there, I'd have said, Ma, don't do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, as a rule, I'm always going to be pro-life and all that. As far as how God engages with that person, that's outside of our jurisdiction. All we can say is that there's a very interesting passage that's one of my life verses in the Bible. It's Deuteronomy 28:28, and it's really simple to memorize because it's 28:28. But it says, the secret things belong to the Lord, but the things revealed belong to us and our children so that we might obey all the words of this law. And what that's telling me is, hey, Vinny, there's a lot of shit about the universe and reality and shit I'm not going to talk to you about. Just trust me. Like, look at my track record in your few spins on the earth. You see I'm a trustworthy person. I don't have to tell you everything, bro. Just trust me. You know what, though? There's a lot of shit I've revealed to you that if you just followed that, 90% of your questions would already be answered anyway. So the secret things belong to the Lord. Okay, what is the secret thing? The secret thing is, how does God feel about your brother, the people who helped with your dad? How does he feel about your dad? Da, 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 da. I don't know what God felt or is going to do as a reaction to that, whatever. I don't know that because that's not revealed to me about your specific case. What is revealed to me, though, because it says the things revealed are for us and our children. What is revealed to me is that the Lord is gracious, he's compassionate, he's slow to anger, he's rich in love, he's good to all, he has compassion on all he has made. And the scripture also says that we are to deliver those who are going down to death and save them. It also says to give wine to those who are perishing, which kind of is a carte blanche to use narcotics. Do whatever you can to lessen the pain of the individual, but don't you take that on to yourself. And so that's the balance, right? I like I said, I got no judgments for your family, your brother, your whoever. I got no judgments for them. But on a stage like this, I'm going to say, don't do it. Follow God's law and trust God's heart. That's what I'd say. Relative to suicide, I'd say follow God's law and trust God's heart. That's what I'd say. That's the most biblical I can be about that particular topic. I'm trying not. Here's the last thing I'll say. I have a very, very important person in my life, and she was going through an extremely difficult situation last summer, and she was making allusions to ending it all. And I said, how do you know that after you do that act, you won't wake up in a worse condition than you were before? And she said, this is an agnostic atheist. She said, I don't know. And I said, yeah, it's probably best to not do anything permanent until you have a better idea about that, right? So that's what I'd say to you guys. Like, I'm not here to hellfire and brimstone and all the rest of it, but the fact of the matter is, there is a hell. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna try to find. We're gonna try to do this thing again. It's a little bit of a little break, but we're gonna do it again. So I'm supposed
4 minute and 34-second one first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he said it right here. Play the 4:30-minute song first.
Okay.
Then play the 30-second.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. So let's do it. Bloodstained Heritage. Did I just put that in the trash?
Bloodstained Heritage, and I am going to pass you the lyrics so we can know what is going on.
Okay, here we go, guys. Crypta, Bloodstained Heritage. Let's go.
Nice.
I really think I dumped. Did I just dump that thing in the trash?
Yeah, but you can pull it out pretty easily. If you did. I did hear the trash sound, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I don't see it in here. I got Gorza. I got Blaze of Sorrow. Where the hell?
Oh, you probably dropped it on this. Is it right there on your desktop?
Oh, yeah. Good job. Is the actual song?
All right, let's see what. You know what? Hold up. Let me get that timestamp.
You got the lyrics?
Yeah, I just sent it to you. But let me take that Bloodstained Heritage.
All right,
let me get that timestamp, babe.
Huh?
Can you just 2:27? Okay. Okay, there we go. And you've got the lyrics, and let's...
Yeah, give them morphine is equivalent to give them wine. For sure, Miss Mudd. For sure. All right, we're going to do it again?
Yep, I'm ready.
Just give me 1 second here on this thing, because I want to make sure. All right, so it was a little bumpy, but we strive at Vin and Sori to get you guys exactly what you asked for when you asked for it. So that's why it took a while. Plus, I had to answer that question. It was a very important question, obviously. Question, yeah. All right. Here we go. Bloodstained Heritage. Let's...
Crypta is the name of the band.
Do it.
Slave parade, it's a true control.
fucking metal. That's metal, ladies and gentlemen, metal. And then we're playing it from the
208 to
Let me
237.
reverse this. 208 to 237. Hold on, let me see that. I'm surprised these guys are not bigger. All right, here we go. Showing you that with standard tuning. It's in order to do, so instead of doing that, that was good, man.
All right, I
These girls
wanted
can
to give us a
play.
little glimpse of the live show. Middle, we saw Dune Part 2, and we are contemplating doing a review on it.
We might do a Dune Part 2 review. We saw Dune.
But let's not get distracted from the review.
We literally saw Dune 2 days in a row.
Yeah, we did. Back to back.
I'm probably going to see the third time, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? We take the kids?
No. No.
I mean, I'll watch it again.
Would you really?
Oh, 100%. I would have gone back the next day.
Say wallahi.
Wallahi.
All right. Hey, shit, that makes me happy.
Yeah, I loved that movie. It was
bright spot in
a darkened world.
I love that movie. It's my favorite movie of the decade. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it made me want... I ain't going to say that. All right.
You said something really cute about it last night, too. Anyway.
Did I?
Back to the review.
Oh, yeah, I did. That's why, it's true. That's why I want to see it again. All right. Delaney's like an old soul. She's like, oh, yeah, they ripped off Kiss. How the hell do you know that? I didn't know what Kiss was until we started this channel.
Me neither. Well, I mean, I knew they were.
You knew what Kiss was before.
Yeah, I knew what they face was.
So Bloodstained Heritage. So this is them. You know, I mean, the lyrics are pretty. Did you send them to me yet?
I like their stage presence. I thought I did, but
yeah, you did.
I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, these girls are straight up rock stars.
Oh, shit, I just deleted the lyrics. Doesn't matter.
It's interesting. Like, what's the name of the band with the girls? The one that we love.
Jinger?
Ben. The one that Ben. He did the documentary. The Warning.
Oh, The Warning. Yeah.
Like it's interesting because like those three girls up there, they look like a female Slayer. You know, they should be huge.
Yeah.
They should be really huge, this band. So I don't know. Hey, Kai, what's up? You saw Kiss in December live. That is insane.
Wow.
And then Middle Earth saw Kiss in 76. She saw them in December. He saw them in 76. That's insane. Oh, Mike Franco was the one that did the one. Okay.
Wait, did you say Ben?
Yeah. Okay, so bodies historically dehumanized, bloodshed from slavery and subjugation through many forms of violence from the beginning of invasion, bloodstained heritage, history so violent. Stain the past and the present, atrocities perpetuate in our genome, miscegenation from systemic abuse, romanticized to conceal the horror.
Boy.
Miscegenation is race mixing. Is she saying that the conquistadors came in there and breeded them out of existence? That's one of the theories about how we overcame the Neanderthals.
Really?
We just bred them out. See what I'm saying? That's one. The fallacy of racial democracy, an excuse not to admit that many nations were born from
that's
violation,
why those people get
blood,
so mad
and
when
slavery.
they see us together.
Did I tell you about that white dude? He was like, "You're selfish. We will find a way to overcome this humiliation." He said. I think he threatened me or something like that.
Oh my word!
He threatened me. I said, man, you don't believe that. You would do that if you saw me, bro. Stop it.
You know what?
Stop it.
Okay, petty as this might sound, one of the reasons why I wish that we would have got together when we were 16 is because we would have had all those years to just put it in their faces.
Oh, the race mixing shit.
Yep.
You going war with the god of beasts. You don't want to smoke my squad, you weak. But I will dust your ass off and sleep. You don't want to smoke my squad, you tweak. And tell them niggas they don't want to war with us. Nah, they don't want to war with us. We some savages, some murderers, and monsters. Okay, so it's one of the things. Like one of the things we're gonna do in season 3 is video essays, I think, and this might be one of them. The whole concept of like privilege and how to enjoy the benefits of the crimes of your fathers without guilt or apathy. And that is an extremely difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of metaphysics that have to go into how to deal with that.
Okay. So you're thinking about doing a video essay on that?
Yeah.
Or that'd be really good.
He would start to do something, then realize Vin had a beautiful beard. I mean, look at his beard, guys.
I know, it's amazing. I gotta say, I never ever liked beards. Like that was like a big. I would say when I was a teenager that I wouldn't even go with somebody that had a beard or somebody that wanted a beard. You completely switched me to the other side. I friggin' love your beard. I look at it I touch it a lot, don't I?
Which just tells you, brothers, that girls will like anything if they like you.
No, it's a nice beard.
They will figure it out.
Okay, and
if they don't like you.
That's true, but the other thing though is Vin is very clean about his beard, and I always felt like that a beard was like dirty, and I think that it can be very dirty if somebody's not. But you are very good with your beard; it always smells amazing. Yeah, and yeah, he's done a very nice. He put those nice lines. It looks unbelievable.
Vin's beard is almost as good as Walt Frazier. I got my wife into guns. I believe that she was not a fan. Hey. We got to go to the range, right? So you go to the studio, and then ping.
Maybe it should be the opposite. You go to the range, then the studio. Maybe to give you more energy.
No, because if he fucks up on any of my shit, like in the recording, I want him to be like, yo, we're going to the range, and it's Vin, and Vin doesn't miss. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty much...
the man to do a good job.
Listen, bro. If you're within 30 yards, it's over.
Who was in that clip? Babe, who was in that clip that was annoyed when they were not doing a good job in the production?
Michael Jackson.
It was Michael Jackson. I was trying, for the life of me, I was trying to find that clip to send it to you.
Yo, y'all see that clip of Michael Jackson? I think it's mad as hell, bro. That's how, if you want to see how band practice goes with me and Sori, hey, CISO, we're gonna have to make sure, you know how they like the tool shows, like you can't bring your phone and shit, or like when you go backstage, you're like, yo, take your phones off. When we get into the studio with CISO, I gotta be like, yo, turn that shit off, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be publicized.
CISO's gonna be like, I thought they liked each other. What the fuck is this? And we're going to the range after this. Nigga, keep talking shit. That's what you.
That's so bad.
My husband had a beard when the kids were little. One day he shaved it off, and my daughter was terrified of him.
I've seen some videos online of that happening. It's actually so sad and cute how the kids react. All right.
Yeah. So how do you do that? Like you got. He got a basketball in his closet. Okay. So now he's got a basketball in his closet.
I don't know what that means.
So we're gonna go to the court. We're gonna do some studio time.
I thought this was like some lingo I hadn't heard of.
No.
Is that
among you Negroes?
I've got a basketball in my closet. What type of gun is that?
It's called a Spalding. Racist bastard. What the fuck is wrong with you? I shoot better than Vin in video games. Ask her. You do not. I promise you, I shoot better than you in video games. I shoot better than you in real life. I guarantee you that, and I'm much better than you in video games.
Sometimes, like I'll just sit and watch Vin playing I play too, but not as often as he does. He'll be playing, and it'll be like, especially if he's on a team and they're all losing, and he's in there trying to save everybody, and it's like bang 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 bang, res bang bang res. It's like it's pretty fun watching you when you're on fire. All right. Okay. Back to it, babe. Bodies historically. What can you
Okay, so this is these guys are Brazilian. This band.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of conquistador action, all that stuff. It's the same old story. You know, you go back and you see all the horrible shit your fathers did, and you end up being the beneficiary of it. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is you get black people, and they tell white people you have white privilege. Mm-hmm. A white person is hearing you got to where you are only because you're white. You didn't struggle, you didn't grind, you didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. When a person hears that, it doesn't matter where they are in society. They know they worked their ass off. Mm-hmm. They know they worked their ass off. They know that they put in the overtime. They know that they did. And so there's a lot of reaction to that. And so because of that, we're not able to actually hear each other.
Yeah.
Because if a person has a problem with white privilege, I always say to myself, okay, let's pull back a little bit. I wasn't born in this country, but most of us were born in this country, right? You did not earn being born in this country. Mm-hmm. I did not earn having a mother being a registered nurse who was able to fly between Jamaica and America, and she had all this money, and so she could do whatever she wanted. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
I was privileged to be raised in an American context. These are things that I got that I did not earn. Uh-huh. And I was also gifted with above average's intelligence, right? You'd be like, okay, that guy's a 6. That's above average. And there's billions of people on the planet. That's an advantage.
Right.
So you're in above average intelligence and above average income slot at the time. Mm-hmm. And you're in America. These are all privileges. Doesn't mean I didn't work hard. Does it mean I did not work hard on this YouTube channel? No. Does it mean I almost died doing the other jobs that I had? Mm-hmm. So I earned it. And so I think we got to have that conversation with each other in a different kind of context. All privilege means is it's an unearned advantage that factored into your success. Mm-hmm. So we're successful YouTubers because we have certain unearned advantages, aesthetically, intellectually, etc. We have certain advantages that other people do not, and because of that, we have 200,000 subscribers, okay? Mm-hmm. So, like, understanding that what are the complex of advantages that I was born with that I did not earn? Mm-hmm. Now, I look at a biblical worldview and I say, what are people who are in a positive situation in society supposed to do with that positivity? Well, we're told in the Bible, God says to Abraham, I'm gonna bless you, I'm gonna make your name great. And then it says, I'll bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you, and in you all the nations of the earth will be blessed. So now I have a paradigm. I have a metaphysical paradigm. My paradigm is I get privileges. Mm-hmm. These are unearned advantages. All I have to do is translate the term privilege into blessing. I have unearned blessings that other people do not have by virtue of being an American, by virtue of being intelligent, etc., etc., etc. And what I'm supposed to do with that extra advantage is to bring everybody up to me. Because God told Abraham, I'm going to bless you and make your name great, and everybody's going to grovel to you. No, it says, in you all the nations of the earth will be blessed. So I am privileged in order to give privilege to other people. I am blessed in order to bless other people. The Bible never tells us to feel guilty about blessings. No, check this out. Even if we got those blessings because our parents were evil. We are not told to feel guilty about the sins of our parents. So I think one of the problems is when you talk about white privilege, I do think some of people on our side, I'm saying black folks, I do think that we cross that line into saying you should feel bad because your parents were, slave drivers, your parents were this and that.
I mean, whole movements have been funded and moved by that.
And I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. People's parents were just like my parents. They have a sinful nature. Everybody that they oppressed would have done the same thing had the circumstances been in their favor. That's the biblical calculation. The movie Amistad is a very famous movie. I Want Freedom. He's a slave in a ship, blah, blah, blah. Came out around 1997, 98. Okay? That dude, famous trial, I want my freedom, blah, blah, blah. He got his freedom and went back and started trafficking people.
That's true?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
How do you think that those slaves ended up on those ships?
Right, yeah.
Them Spaniards, them Arabs, they had no fucking idea what was. We showed them the lay of the land and said, "Oh, these Southerners, yeah, get rid of them. Yeah, you can slave them, do whatever you want." Okay, so we supposed to hate white people because of slavery. So we're supposed to hate black people because of slavery too. And by the way, if you look into Black Israelite theology, they hate Africans for that reason. The Northern Africans sold the Southern Africans into slavery, so they hate those people. See what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you're gonna have to hate everybody, or everybody's gonna be paying a bill forever. White people are gonna be paying a bill forever, and it's like that paradigm. The guilt paradigm isn't working. Mm-hmm. You guilting people. I always say, like, the soul has to run on fuel, and guilt and fear are propellants. Okay, it's like NASCAR, right? Like. It for a short period of time in a very confined area, guilt and fear can work to do something good in a short period. But on the highway, you're driving like NASCAR, everybody dies.
Nitro burst.
What gets us from A to Z, the ultimate fuel that's self-renewing and is healthy, is love.
Yeah.
Not fear. And I'm not even trying to be corny or touchy. I'm just thinking logically. Mm-hmm. We run much better when we're motivated by love. Archero is doing this year after year after year. Nobody told him. Nobody said anything. I didn't open it. I'm the Christian. He hasn't made any profession of being a Christian. Every year he's doing that shit. Why? Because he's blessed, and he sees that other people are not as blessed as him. What does he do? Does he go, "Oh, I'm so guilty, I'm blessed," and other people? No, he creates a way.
Let's have a fun game
to bring everybody together and still find a way to help people. And then you shame people like me into saying, "I got to be more generous." Right? That's how we do it. Mm-hmm. You take your privilege. If your fathers were horrible people and did horrible shit to people and took their land and raped and pillaged, yep, they're terrible. They gave you an example of what not to do. But in spite of that, God is still gracious to them by being gracious to you. Mm-hmm. Because in the biblical world, being good to your kids was almost more important. Well, to them, it was more important. Everything was your children's children and all the rest of it. So when I look at how God has treated white people in America, I say all throughout history, people have been conquering each other, enslaving each other, and all the rest of it. And sometimes they repent and change, and other time God says, "You know what? I'm taking all you off the fucking map. How about that?" God has not done that with white America. Mm-hmm. That means he's been gracious. That means there's some God's favor there. It does not mean that because God is gracious to them that he's somehow commenting about me and my folks. Mm-hmm. No! What it means is all of us are dependent on God's grace because all of us and our fathers are corrupt. Mm-hmm. That's the issue. If you think you're not, look what's going on right fucking now.
Yep.
Okay? So the way to do it is not guilt but love. And maybe we could say, okay, not white privilege, because the word privilege has just too much
baggage with it
now. You can just call it American blessing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the blessing is one, that we're the number one superpower in the world, but the blessing is also that God has not visited his judgment onto people. And there is a sense in which you can say he actually did during the Civil War, because we lost 600,000 Americans. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we can think about these things in a broader way so that we can bring everybody together.
Yeah.
We don't need to villainize white people for being born. I mean, that's what it ends up being. It's like, you're bad because you're born. It's like, okay, all of us are bad because we're born then, because all of us are born bad. We're not gonna single out a single group of people and say, you guys are the, look, I have these nuances. I've had these nuances in my head in the beginning. It's a reason I can marry a white person. But I have not...
Lucky for me.
I have not really explicated this angle of it. Mm-hmm. I've always had this in my head, but I've always been like, that's something that I've worked out myself. I didn't think anybody was interested in it, but there you go. It's very... you posted something.
Yeah, it goes right here.
Vector says, I saw the interview you had with a neo-Nazi a few years. That was a very interesting conversation. I love that. You treated that person as mentally and spiritually sick and in need of nourishment instead of someone to avoid. That's the mentality we all need. Yeah,
I mean, it was fitting for the conversation, especially.
Yeah,
treating somebody.
Yeah, people caught me on a very good day. Right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
You caught me on a really good day.
100%.
But that's how it's
a beautiful
supposed to.
conversation.
That's how it's supposed to look.
That's how it's supposed to be every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Wow, these people.
I love this. Use your white privilege to donate to those BLM founders so they can buy more mansions. Do it, idiots. I agree.
That's why I said there was whole movements that were built on white guilt.
That's an example, right, of the car is not designed to run on guilt.
Right.
And those two ladies, they found an opening and they went for it. And, hey, congratulations to them. You just threw all of us under the bus and completely invalidated something that was absolutely valid. Yep. But thank you very much, girls.
Yep.
But anyway, I have a talent to catch Vin on the best of days. Yo, Donald Trump said something insane. I wish I could find it. It was the best thing that I had ever seen him do. It was so blasphemous.
It's so weird how it keeps disappearing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the thing is, maybe it's case sensitive. But anyway, he said something like, God is a good guy and things of that nature. He does good things, but he doesn't give me my credit, All right. So yeah, like the fallacy of racial democracy. Yeah, like that's how I look at it. I think the racial issues are very real. I'm not going to say that they're not real, but I also think that we are stopping one step too early. It's not a race issue. It's a human being issue. There's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with all of us. And that wrongness gets most clearly demonstrated when we have power. And so that's how I look at it. That's my understanding of racism and critical race theory and all the rest of it. That's kind of what it looks like to me.
This is going to sound kind of psychotic, but that's one of the things that I've learned from Vin that has been really sort of life altering, was treating kids like human beings. I know that sounds crazy, but like, I've just been around a lot of culture where kids are seen, like kids should be seen and not heard, that sort of mentality. Like, they're beneath the adults, eventually they'll become an adult and then they'll be, but Vin will interact with these kids like, here's a random example. This is one thing that I've learned from him that I reacted differently to. So I hurt my leg and I was sitting at the kitchen table. I do not let people put their feet on. The feet do not belong on the table. They don't belong on the counter. None of that. Well, my leg was hurting, so I tried to get it up so I could get the blood flow going. So I put my leg on the corner of the table, so my foot wasn't on the table, but still not something that I would be like a giant fan of anybody else doing, but I was doing it because, I needed the blood circulation. And Reza looked at me, he goes, okay, that's kind of gross. he's two. And I'm like, I said, what? And then like, I immediately wanted to react like, this is my house. This is my table, blah, blah, blah. I said, what? And he goes, your feet are on the table. My feet weren't on the table. It was a leg and it was for a good reason. And then I was like, you know what? I have told everybody, do not put your feet, don't touch and so I was like, okay, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I said, that's true. I was like, you're right. It is. And I took my foot off, but that was based off of how you are with them. Like, they'll tell you, if you're being too loud celebrating for football, you're being too loud, like think about the neighbors or whatever. And you acquiesce to them and apologize to them and stuff like that. But that's the whole, I think that's a power dynamic that doesn't get looked at.
I was wrong though in that situation because we were telling everybody to be quiet.
Yeah.
And then I'm up there. Ah!
Yeah.
So like, I was completely wrong. I was dead to rights. But like, what can you do in that situation though? Like, if you're wrong.
But a lot of people wouldn't even give the kids the opportunity to try to tell a parent they're wrong.
Because but it's already out of his mouth, right? So he already said,
I don't think that he would say that if you didn't allow him the opportunity to be able to speak his mind like that. If kids weren't allowed to say anything to adults on stuff, then he would just think it in himself. I remember thinking stuff about my parents like that's a little
but what if you would have said like, hey, you got to quiet down? What would have happened?
If I would have told my parents, I'm not even answering that question live. I don't know what they would have done. I could tell my parent to be quiet.
Well, he wasn't rude. He was just like, hey,
no,
Dad. Like,
it is definitively rude from that mindset to tell a parent to be quiet. Who are you? What? I would have never said. One time, I called out my parents on one of their inconsistencies, and I could tell it was not a good. It was not a good environment. Like I didn't get like it's not like they beat me or anything for it, but I could tell like it was something I should never do again.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Solid 9.
You could tell your mother to be quiet.
He was very polite.
If your mom was inconsistent,
he was like,
would she have allowed you to correct her?
He said, "Dad, you're being loud. You got to be quiet."
It's so funny too because he's stuck in the moment watching the game, so he doesn't see their little friggin' faces. But they always have this look on their face, like, "I am the authority." It's just funny, like, "You're being too loud, Dad," and then they have like this little smirk because then he'll apologize to them, and then they're like,
"Yeah, yeah." I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like if they catch you like dead to rights and you're wrong, you're wrong. That's it. What can you do? What can you do? What can you say to not look like a crazy person? Like what would you say to it? Because I had just done it like 3 minutes before. I'd be like, "Stop! You guys are too loud. What's wrong with you?" See what I'm saying? And then I went off and did the same thing. Like,
well,
yeah, I was worse. I was worse.
Yeah, much worse.
So like, like I don't know, like how can you say like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was dead to rights. There's nothing you could say.
No, I was punished with Bach playing in the background. That's what it is. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, what's up, Z Love? It's good to see you. It's Z Love's first time here.
Yeah.
Z Love, it's great that you're here. We're leaving.
You just made it for the final goodbye.
Not because of you, though.
No.
So there you go. See, there you go. Dethroner said, "That's a good lesson for them, Vin, or they think you're a hypocrite."
Yeah. I mean, that always confused me, seeing like hypocritical stuff that was going on.
I agree.
I was like, so. And then I started thinking, either when you become an adult and you break the rules, it's okay.
Rate the song again.
I actually didn't rate the song at all.
Ben was paying attention. He said, "Sorry, didn't rate the song."
Did you rate it?
Yeah. I give it a solid 9, I said.
Oh, okay. For some reason, the lyrics didn't really move me. And I understand, like, it's, whatever, but I did like that live clip of theirs to see them, like, what they look like on the stage. Yes. That was pretty cool.
Heavy, crazy stage presence.
And that was the same song.
Crazy stage presence.
I'm gonna give them a 9. I'm gonna go with a 9.
Crazy stage presence. This was a very deep, interesting, yeah, great timing indeed. This is a great and deep, interesting live stream, guys. Thank you guys for sticking around.
Bye, CISO.
Later,
CISO.
CISO.
Can you tell me like the notes of that song that you sent to him, like the notes that are getting played? Because I want to try to put some vocals, but I want to match it to the same notes. I have an idea of what I want to do with it, but I don't know what the notes are. I don't have the ears for that. So can you just tell me what those are? It's
CISO, and Ian already told you. It's an E-chlorian or something
No, there's multiple notes being played. And so if you're going to follow that vocally, you're going to hit different ones. So thank you. If you just send the message to Vinny, he'll get it to me.
Yep, I'll get it to you. We're about to shock the world with this music, y'all.
Oh my word, I'm having so much fun practicing. You have no idea.
I'm pretty excited. CISO, we're gonna come out with some really good shit. I've got a 365-day calendar to get this shit out and live. I want a 3-song set, at least a 3-song set.
Okay.
In 365 days. We already have 2 songs that are like no doubters.
Yeah.
1 and 2. There's a third one that I also think is pretty crazy. Next Friday, yes, the key of the song. Next Friday, there is an Imperishable Flame stream coming.
Yeah.
You guys know what it is with the Imperishable Flames. Play about 8-9 songs in this bitch.
Friday is the 15th. And the following day, the 16th, a Saturday, Revo should be coming through with a stream also. So we're going to have streams back-to-back Friday and Saturday. So we've got a really cool weekend planned, and we're looking forward to spending some time with you guys. So come through.
Hell yeah. And we usually don't work on the weekends.
No, Waldo, I don't do that. I've tried a couple times. It really doesn't.
Are your lyrics very Christian inspired?
Yeah, they are of the... It's a bell, yeah, for sure. But you wouldn't necessarily know it.
Yeah.
It is extremely explicit when you know what it is, but if you don't know what it is, like, Vinny's really good about making stuff, like, not obvious, but still, like, really... It's... The lyrics are badass. The structure of the song is, like, wait till you see what he's put together. Like, I'm here for the ride. I'm like, it's amazing. You guys are going to really think this is great. I'm not able to, like, if I hear a piece of a song, I'm not able to hear, like, what is this going to be after you layer it with all the other stuff. He can hear that. So it's a different experience for him. For me, like, when he's playing something, then he passed it to Ciso passed it back. He played me. I couldn't even believe it's the same thing that happened when you sent it to Peter. Like, hearing it layered with, like, the other instruments, it's just incredible. I love seeing your mind put out into that and then hearing it all coming out. It's really a crazy experience. Probably more so because I love you, so hearing, like, something that's inside of you coming out like that, like, and being a part of it. And then today I was realizing that the way that you structured the song and did the vocals, like, you made it stay within my range. That was really cool. Like, it's really, really exciting. We're going to be doing some of these shows live also. At some point, we're going to be making our final move. And when we make our final move, we'll be in a place and a location that we'll be able to do live shows pretty easily. So that'll be pretty exciting.
During COVID, bands were doing, like, in-home performances and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Disappointing.
It was
disappointing. We're going to get out there.
Yeah, I want to get out.
We want the crowd.
I want to see. I want to see.
We're okay with a boo. They're never going to boo. It's such good music. They're not going to boo it. But even if they did, I'd be there for it.
Well, getting all that shit to translate live is going to be a different
experience. Yeah, we're gonna need somebody who knows what the frig they're doing, because obviously we've seen how these live shows have gone for years, and we're still having tech issues, and we haven't really changed anything. This is way less complicated than a band.
Well, no, we've changed. There's some pretty significant changes. I
mean, but it's been long enough.
On the different camera, I don't know, we're using Wi-Fi.
But music, playing live, we need a professional. We need somebody to help us.
Yeah.
We'll get some friends.
Hope you're not learning guitar by tablature, man. You've seen my playing real science, man. That's as far as it's gonna go, bro. Tab or not, like, I've peaked. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.